Hi again, everybody, from Goss Stadium of Coleman Field on the campus of Oregon State University in Corvallis, along with Brooks Hatch, Garrett Dworshak, Evan Bach, Andrew Roderick, Brian Thomas. This is Mike Parker welcoming you to tonight's non-league baseball game between the Corvallis Knights, the seven-time defending champion Knights, and a non-league affair against the Cascade Collegiate Showcase team, the all-star team, as it were, from the league based in Centralia, Washington. We'll get to the starting lineups and to tonight's first pitch at 6:35 here in a moment. This is the first of three straight non-league games for the Knights, who are sitting in a good position with 3 games remaining in the first half. A magic number of 1. Any combination of Portland Pickles losses and Knights wins totaling 1 would give the Knights the first half championship and home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs in August. So while the Knights are in a non-league affair tonight, they could get good news from the league. We'll have more on that as we go. Our guest on the pregame show, a young man who was our Washington Park Advisors player of the game last night, dealt with a tough injury recently but came back quickly. Tough kid, and had 3 RBIs, including nearly hitting one out of the ballpark. The pride of Aloha High School in Lewis Clark State, Brandon Cabrera, joins me next as we get our pregame show going after this 2-minute break on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Back at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Knights get a split of the 4-game series with a resounding 10-3 victory over the Cowlitz Black Bears, and I'm joined by the Washington Park Advisors player of the game. A 3 RBI night for a guy who wasn't even in the starting lineup and a guy that nearly hit one out of the ballpark. Nobody's hit one out for the Knights yet here in a home game, but Brandon Cabrera nearly did, just miss leaving the yard, and he's kind enough to join me after the game. Brandon, congratulations on the big night. I saw your face when I walked in the dugout before the game, and, oh, that must be Cabrera, because you don't see too many guys with the kind of marks you've got, a shiner in your right eye and some bandages above the eye. Before we get to tonight's big game, take us through what exactly happened, what you remember happening to you a couple of nights ago.
Yeah, it was, just having a good little battle at the plate. Pitcher was throwing some sinkers up and in, and I think I just fouled one off, and it ended up coming back into my face and hit me in the eye. Got lucky, no breaks or anything, so we were good to play today.
Was it a little scary? Were you a little bit, oh, wow, that was, I don't know if you've been through anything like that before, but what was it like to go through it? Were you a little shaken up just having something like that happen?
Yeah, I was definitely a little shaken up. At first, I thought it was a lot worse than it was. Then when I was on the ground for a second, I realized, oh, I'm okay. And, I stood up and everything was fine, but it did scare me for a second.
Could you see immediately, or you never lost vision? Was it a little blurry at all at first?
No, yeah, vision was perfectly fine. Thankfully, it just missed my eye. I think my eyebrow took the brunt of the hit, so I got lucky.
Did you get taken for evaluation?
Yeah, I went to the ER that night and had a CT scan done, which showed no breaks. So I was thankful for that.
So you sat out yesterday, but you told Coach Knight, "Hey, I'm ready to pinch hit today if you need me." Well, that kind of came up, unfortunately. I mean, Thomas had to leave a little early. He'll be okay long term, but so you came on early in this ball game and ended up driving in 3 runs. So I guess you always got to be ready.
Yeah, absolutely. You never know when your name is going to get called. So, we try to stay hot here on the bench and make sure we're ready to go whenever.
So a 3 RBI game, but what about the double you hit? That's a wood bat. That's a big league type of swing, and you nearly hit it out on a kind of a cool, raw night. Tell me about that swing.
No, yeah, I think it was a 3-2 fastball, and he just kind of left it over the heart of the plate and put a good swing on it. I think I've done that a couple times this summer where I've hit the top of the wall and just haven't quite squeaked one over yet. So we'll see how it goes the rest of the summer.
How different is it, Brandon, swinging the wood bat? I mean, that ball's gone if it's off a metal bat with the same type of swing and trajectory and so on. But how valuable is it to be being able to make contact like that with wood?
No, yeah, it's definitely really different. It's great practice, though. That's why we do it here in the summers, so that when the springtime comes around, we get the metal bat in our hands, and it feels like we're swinging a lightsaber up there. So, but yeah, it's definitely really different.
Lewis Clark State for you out of Aloha High School. Before we get there, it's an outstanding program through the years, but you grew up in Aloha, told me before the interview started that you kind of grew up a Beaver fan. So tell me a little bit about what it was like to grow up in Aloha and be a student and a student athlete at Aloha High School.
Yeah, Aloha's great. We're a little bit smaller school in our area. We're a 6A school, so we're a big school, but the teams that we play against have, usually really good competition. So I played really good baseball all through my 4 years there. I love playing at Aloha. I think it was a great place to grow up and learn. So I love it.
Did you play any other sports?
A little bit. I played soccer 1 year, and I also wrestled for 1 year in high school.
Then the opportunity in Lewiston. Tell me a little bit about how that came about.
Yeah, so I actually played 2 years community college at Umpqua Community College for Jeremiah Robbins, who was the previous head coach at Lewis Clark State. And after my 2 years were done there, he asked me if I would, be interested in playing at LC, and I told him I was, and so it all kind of worked out for me, and I ended up loving it there. The coaches were great to me, and it's a great program. We're great fans, so I think everything worked out perfectly for me.
It is an outstanding program. Did you feel that? Could you feel a passionate fan base? People love their baseball there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have the whole city of Lewiston and Clarkston behind our back up there. It's great. Everywhere we go, people, talk about the baseball team and everything. We have endless support. So I love it up there.
Brandon Cabrera, my guest. What? I'm sorry. Help me. What do you got next? Where are you in school? Are you done? Do you have another year of eligibility? What's next?
Yeah, I have 1 more year left. So I'll be going back to LC and hoping to win another national championship.
Brandon, tell me a little bit about your experience with the Knights so far. What it's been like, what you make of the culture, the coaches, the teammates, etc.
Yeah, everything here in Corvallis is amazing. We have, the teammates are great. I love these guys. They're from all over the place, but I think we've really meshed well together. We like to say we have a sticky culture here. The coaching staff is great. They're really, behind our backs. So a lot of teams in the summer maybe just kind of let guys go and do what they do, but the coaching staff here is also help us grow and become better versions of ourselves, which I love. And the fans here are amazing. Obviously, they love their Knights baseball, so got to get behind that.
They do, and they've enjoyed what you've had a tremendous summer and a really good season. We're excited to see maybe an 8th straight championship coming. You guys, I know, are all in on that. But you, in saying you grew up a Beaver fan and following Beaver baseball, what are your thoughts about one of your own, Aloha High School's Brandon Eisert, rise into the big leagues? I'm proud of him and happy for him. A great kid. What does it mean to you as a fellow Aloha player?
No, yeah, that is absolutely amazing. He's worked incredibly hard and earned every single chance he's got up there. So we're all proud of him and wishing him the best up there.
Brandon, it's great to have you back, safe and sound, seeing clearly, swinging well. 3-run night driven in. Congratulations on that. And thanks for taking time. It's nice to meet you officially, and thanks for joining me on the pregame show.
Thank you very much.
That's Brandon. Yes, it was, and really enjoyed visiting with Brandon after the ball game last night as we welcome you back into Goff Stadium at Coleman Field. Peyton Rickard leading off against Jackson Flora and hits a fly ball to center field, gathered by Brandon Cabrera. And now Travis Finney hits a ground ball right at Knight's first baseman Coulter McAnally. So Jackson Flora off to a good start with pitching to contact and 2 quick outs. Jack Barker will be the hitter against Knight's right-hander Jackson Flora. Non-league game, the stats will not count. The Portland Pickles are playing a series at Ridgefield this weekend. If Ridgefield wins one of those games, if Ridgefield wins tonight, the Knights are the first half champions. Flora's first pitch swung on and missed. The 0-1 pitch slap foul off to the left and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes to Jack Barker of the Cascade Collegiate Showcase team. Barker out of the College of Southern Idaho, Meridian, Idaho native, College of Southern Idaho in Twin Falls. Brooks Hatch working very hard to deliver unto me some messages. Thank you very much. The umpires, thank you. I see Corwin out on the bases, the slim, trim version of Mike Corwin in his later years. Good for Mike, good for everybody. And it's Skylar Sadowski back of the plate. Thank you, Brooks. And thank you for the note on Ridgefield and the Pickles. Sadowski and Corwin, the umpires. The 1-2 pitch just missed to Jack Barker. The lineup for the Cascade Collegiate All-Stars, the showcase team: Rickard, the third baseman, Travis Finney in the 2-hole at DH, Barker at the plate now batting third and right, Alden Brown, the cleanup hitter at first base, Jay O'Neill batting fifth and center, Jaden Herwick hitting sixth in left field, Talon Ty batting seventh at second. It could be Talon. That's a bit of information I never gleaned. I hope to have it before tomorrow night's game. Anyway, maybe even before this one's over. Luke Klooster hitting eighth and catching. Trevin Long batting ninth at shortstop. Troy Molna on the mound. Breaking ball, a comebacker, fielded cleanly by Jackson Flora, who throws to Coulter McAnally. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Jackson, pitching to contact impressively. And down go the Cascade Collegiate Showcase team here in the top of the first in order. We'll give you the Knights lineup and get to the bottom of the first when we return. CCL nothing, the Knights coming up on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bottom of the first inning, let's take a look at the Corvallis Knights starting lineup for this non-league game against the CCL Showcase Club. I may just refer to them for simplicity's sake the rest of the way as the CCL All-Star team. This group, coached by Ben Kruger, comprised of the best players from the four teams that participate in the Cascade Collegiate League in Centralia. based in Centralia. Leading off for the night, center fielder Brandon Cabrera. The first pitch from the left-hander Troy Molna misses down and away. I had the real pleasure of meeting Troy's mother, Mejia. They're from Richland, Mejia, and Troy's aunt, Kahea, who lives here in town. The 1-0 pitch on the way from Troy. Fastball away, and the count 2-0 to Brandon Cabrera. Blake Wilson in the 2-hole at short. Kevin Takeuchi batting third and left. Luke Lavin, the cleanup hitter, in DH. C.J. Collier batting fifth and right. The 2-0 pitch to Cabrera in there for a strike, as adjudged by the pride of South Albany High School, class of 2016, home plate umpire Skylar Sadowski. The 2-1 pitch on the way to Brandon Cabrera, breaking ball down and in from Troy Molna, a cousin, second cousin of Talia von Oelhoffen. First cousins, Mejia and Kahea, whom I met before the game. 3 balls and a strike to Brandon Cabrera. Blake Wilson on deck. Molna ready. The 3-1 pitch popped up on the right side. Alden Brown, the first baseman, backs up in foul territory and drops the ball. The wind pushing the baseball a little bit out of the reach of Alden Brown. Now, you've got to imagine that ball landed. If you can think about it, I'm sure it's not difficult to conjure the image. More foul territory to deal with for the Razorback trio coming together, the right fielder, second baseman, and first baseman. But the ball essentially landing in the same spot. But in this case, it did hit the leather of the first baseman, Alden Brown. No error charged, a tough play. The 3-2 pitch is fouled into Urchin Alley, the first action in the alley tonight, into the bicycle rack. The count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes to Brandon Cabrera. Coulter McAnally batting 6th at first base. Cole Snidell batting 7th and catching. Houston Wheeler hitting 8th and left. And Tai Yukamoto batting 9th at second. Molna out of the plate. A line drive caught by the shortstop, Trevin Long. Good job by Molna to pitch to contact and get an out. We've seen 4 ensembles of that here this evening early. And Blake Wilson will be the batter. Troy Molna and Luke Klooster, the battery for the CCL All-Stars. Alden Brown at first, Talon Tai at second, Trevin Long at short, Peyton Tex Rickard at third, Jaden Herwick in left, Jay O'Neill in center, Jack Barker in right. That's a little Chris Bermanism for a moment on Peyton Rickard. I don't think his middle name is Tex, but I can't help but think of Tex when I see the name Rickard. The strike 1 pitch after the change was swung on and missed by Blake, misses down and away, and the count 1-1. 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the first, no score. The first of 2 with CCL and the Mid-Valley Southpaws, the Legion team, knee the Mid-Valley Rockets coming in here, sponsored now by Southpaws Pizza, a great eatery in Albany. The pitch missing in the count 2-1. The Southpaws will be here on Sunday at 5:05. The 2-1 pitch in there for a strike. Skylar Sadowski again calling it with Mike Corwin on the bases. 2-2, 1 out, nobody on. Pleasant evening, breezy, blowing towards left center field. Molna to the plate and misses to run the count full to 3-2. I had, before the game, was trying to find Mom Mejia and Aunt Kahea. Molna, with family in the ballpark, delivers and misses outside to Blake Wilson for ball 4. Blake heads down to first, and Kevin Takeuchi will be the hitter. To try to give me a sense on this Corvallis custom T-shirt night, looking around the ballpark, the nice 2024 version of the Knights T-shirts, a white background and the Knights logo emblazoned on it. Wherever I look, you see the shirts, 250 of them handed out, and they went quickly. Tomorrow night will be baseball giveaway night presented by Horesco Chiropractic. So we encourage you to get here early. Make sure you don't miss out on the first 250 fans receiving baseballs. Kevin Takeuchi takes low and inside, ball 1. A throw to first to Alden Brown, and a nice play and a good pickoff move. But Blake Wilson gets in under the tag of Trevin Long and gets the stolen base. He was dead to rights, it appeared, but the throw, while accurate to Trevin Long, a good slide by Blake Wilson. and he gets in under the tag attempt of Trevin Long and secures the stolen base. None of the numbers in this game count towards overall West Coast League statistics. The 1-0 pitch on the way misses down and in, 1-1 the count. When Brooks came up to deliver the note on who the umpires were tonight during the break, he said, yeah, Skylar Sadowski, he graduated from South Albany High School. And I had to pause. Here's a bluff to second by Troy Molna. I was trying to find the Molna family to get a little more information on Troy, who pitches for Northwest Nations. I don't quite know what that entails. I like the sound of it. I'd like to know more. The 2-0 pitch, very high, and I haven't had time to check it out when I was preparing some roster notes earlier, and there's not a lot of information available on this club. I did note that Troy competes for Northwest Nations. I don't know if that's a travel team, if it's indigenous peoples. I mean, I just, would like to know more. Takeuchi takes high, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. And that is a pitch clock violation and ball 4. And Kevin Takeuchi heads down to first. Luke Lavin, the designated hitter, will be the batter. But just note that the pronunciation, these things have always fascinated me, how we say things differently, even living together in the same community. Again, I said Brooks Hatch came to me and he handed me and he said, yeah, Skylar Sadowski, listen carefully now, graduated from South Albany High School. Not Albany, Albany. A-W-B-A-N-Y, South Albany. The batter is Luke Lavin here in Goss Stadium at Coleman Field in Corvallis. Lavin takes a strike and the count 0-1. 2 walks in the inning from Troy Molna. Blake Wilson at second, Kevin Takeuchi at first. Luke, the designated hitter, who I had the pleasure of meeting officially for the first time today, awaits. Left on left, Luke swings and hits it foul to the left and out of play. And the count quickly 0-2. C.J. Collier on deck. That, I thought, was a peculiarity of my good friends Big Jim Wilson, Bobby Wilson, and my late good friend, their brother, John Wilson, in saying the pronunciation of the city across the valley from here, Albany, Oregon. Pitches to the backstop, a wild pitch. Into third base goes Blake Wilson. Into second on the wild one, Kevin Takeuchi, and the count 1-2 to Luke Lavin. That's one, just same with as in Corvallis. I've never quite figured that. I just don't get it. Why? Kerr. It's core. And the leaving off of the L, I've never fully understood either. The 1-2 pitch to Luke Lavin, big swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 down, and C.J. Collier, the hitter. People have said, well, it's faster that way. It's quicker to say. Maybe there's an element of just kind of not lazy. I would never attribute laziness to Jim Wilson or Brooks Hatch in saying Albany. But I don't understand it any more than I understand the sport played by many, by yours truly for one summer, GOLF. Great game of golf. Jared Goff? No. The first pitch missing to C.J. Collier, ball 1, 1-0. Second and third, 2 down, no score, bottom of the first. The 1-0 pitch to C.J. swung on and fouled back, and the count 1-1. Minor mysteries in the overall scheme of things, not important ones, but they've always exercised some degree of fascination for me, the way we pronounce things differently. Blake Wilson at third, Kevin Takeuchi at second. The pitch to C.J. popped up on the right side. First baseman Alden Brown gets a second chance, and he's true on this one in foul territory, making the grab, and the Knights leave 2 in scoring position. No runs, no hits, 2 left. At the end of 1, CCL nothing, the Knights nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Airport. We want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
News that you can trust. Subscribe to the Gazette Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette Times community.
Jackson Flora ready to go in the second inning. Alden Brown swings and hits one foul towards the Omaha room to the right. No balls and one strike to Alden. Leading things off for the Cascade Collegiate League Showcase team. Breaking ball from Flora, a strike, and the count 0-2. Jackson retired the All-Stars in order last inning. He's ahead to the cleanup hitter. No balls and two strikes. Jackson delivers, swung on and fouled back. 0-2 to Alden Brown. Alden out of Clark College. I was not able to ascertain where he went to high school. Again, it's not as though no information exists, but going through several sites and then getting to different websites that list where a player is currently playing, but they don't always list where the young person went to high school. So I'm still trying to ascertain that and hope to at least know it by game 2 tomorrow night. Alden takes down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good fastball from Jackson Flora. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Jackson's first strikeout. He's retired 4 in a row. Jay O'Neill, the hitter. Jay out of Shea McFeely country. That would be Federal Way High School, originally committed to Fresno City College, now at Yakima Valley College. Jay O'Neill takes high and away, ball 1. There is that too, right? Yakima? I have many say, no, Mike, it's Yakima. No, I don't. I think it is Yakima, but tomato, tomato. But who says who do you know in your life when that's thrown out? Who says potato? Who says tomato? No one I know. The 2-0 pitch on the way to Jay O'Neill. Fastball foul back. And the count 2-1. No score, top of the second inning. The Knights and Cascade Collegiate Showcase team tomorrow night at 6:35. Leif Palmer will get the start for the Knights. The 2-1 fastball in on the fist, hit foul into the stairwell area coming up into the Jack Riley concourse, slightly behind the Corvallis Knights dugout. What a delight to see Jack and Gene here at the ballpark last night, along with Dick McClain and many of Brook Knight's friends on Brook Knight night at the ballpark. The 2-2 pitch to Jay O'Neill is taken, I should say. Strike 3 called. Good pitch on the inside corner. And after 3 soft contact outs in the first inning, Jackson Flora has fanned the first 2 batters and gets Jaden Herwick to swing at the first pitch. Jaden doesn't get it. No balls and 1 strike. Jaden out of Jefferson High School in Auburn, Washington, swings and lifts 1 foul into the lower grandstand down the left side. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Jaden competing in Aberdeen in the NWAC at Grays Harbor College. No balls and 2 strikes to Herwick. Flora's fastball away, ball 1, 1-2. Again, Flora and Cole Snido, the battery. Colder McAnally at first, Ty Yukamoto at second, Blake Wilson at short, Kevin Takeuchi at third. The 1-2 pitch misses down and in. Ball 2, 2-2. Houston Wheeler in left, Brandon Cabrera in center, and C.J. Collier in right. Flora delivers a little low. And the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. No score in the top of the second inning in a non-league ball game here at the ballpark. The 3-2 pitch hit slowly back towards the mound, fielded cleanly again by Jackson Flora, and he gets his second assist as he tosses to first for out number 3. 2 punch-outs in the inning for Jackson. He's retired the first 6 CCL Showcase team members, and after 1.5, CCL nothing, the Knights nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Coulter McAnally, Cole Snido, and Houston Wheeler for the Knights in the bottom of the second. No score. Troy Molna to the plate. Troy misses high, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Again, with Mom Mahea and Aunt Kahea in the ballpark cheering him on. Molna delivers, and McAnally a fly ball to left center field. Jay O'Neill moves over. The ball carries on him a little bit at the last moment with that wind pushing out to left center. He had to reach a little high to flag it, but he does. 1 away, and Cole Snido, the hitter for the Knights. Snido at .250. This is a non-league affair. .250 with 4 runs batted in. And Coulter McAnally, a two-way player for the Knights, has done a good job on the mound and a .269 hitter through 8 games offensively. The first pitch missing to Cole Snido. 1 ball and no strikes the count to the Knights catcher tonight. Fastball just misses. 2-0. Troy Molna out of Richland High School. He's a bomber and pitches at Yakima Valley College. Delivers a 2-0 pitch for a strike. Pretty good frame job by Luke Klooster, convincing the pride of South Albany High School that the pitch had caught the outside corner. The 2-1 pitch out in front, a little pop-up produced by Snido, and the pitcher, Molna, will take care of matters himself. Calls for it, makes the catch, 2 down. Houston Wheeler to the plate. Houston getting off to a bit of a slow start. There's certainly plenty of time. There was a young man by the name of Willie Mays that got off to a 1-for-22 start for the New York Giants in 1951 and was weeping in front of his locker and said to Leo, "Lee, you need to send me back to Minneapolis," the AAA club, the minor league club for the Giants, whom Willie had been called up from. Willie had hit .477 there, so they brought him up, but he went 0 for 12, homered off Spahn, but then went 0 for 10 again and was 1 for 22. Wheeler taking the first pitch out of the zone. Molna comes back with a fastball just inside, ball 2, 2-0, 2 outs, nobody on, no score in the bottom of the second. Willie crying, Leo, I can't hit here. You got to send me back. The 2-0 pitch, Houston, a fly ball to right field and shallow. Jack Barker, a long run's got to play it on a hop. And sometimes when you are slumping a little bit, and Houston has been in terms of his overall numbers, just to get one to drop can kind of turn you loose a little bit. Let's hope that's the case for Houston Wheeler, who's now 3 for 25. But that's 2 hits in his last 3 games, so some good signs for Houston. He drove a ball deep into the gap in right center field here a couple of days ago. Didn't necessarily drive that one, but he gets a base hit. And now here's a line drive base hit for Tai Yukamoto. Wheeler, who can really run, will make it to third easily. He slides just to ensure that he's just fine, but he's in easily. Tai Yukamoto with a rope to center. Wheeler to third. Yukamoto at first, 2 down, and Brandon Cabrera, the batter, runners at first and third, 2 down, no score in the bottom of the second inning, but the Knights will try to change that here. Leo, the Lip, said to Willie, Willie, you're my center fielder for as long as I'm the manager forever. Doesn't matter what, you're it, you're here. You're going to be here forever. As long as I'm here, you're the center fielder. I don't care what you're hitting. I don't care what you did tonight. I don't care what you do tomorrow, the next day, or the day after that. You're my guy. Willie ended up doing okay for himself the rest of that year, and I dare say the rest of his career. In fact, Vin Scully himself said, the best player ever. Brandon Cabrera, the batter. Brandon takes outside, ball 1. What's up, Brooks? I'm still. Okay. I didn't know if I was keeping you from your work. 1 ball and no strikes, the count to Brandon Cabrera. Runners at first and third and 2 down. Troy Molna out of the stretch. Taking off from first is Yukamoto. He's in safely, and coming in from third on the double steal, Houston Wheeler to score, and the Knights do lead it 1-0. So Luke Klooster chooses to throw through. Pretty good throw by Luke, but Tai Yukamoto able to get in, and Wheeler breaking from third after the throw did go all the way through and bobbled momentarily by Trevin Long. And so Wheeler scores. The Knights lead it 1-0. Brandon Cabrera with a count of 2 balls and no strikes, trying to drive in a run. Molna delivers high, and the count goes to 3 balls and no strikes with Blake Wilson on deck. 1-0 Knights in the second on this Corvallis Custom T-shirt giveaway night. Corvallis Custom, the official printer of your Corvallis Knights. Yukamoto's going to third. The pitch appeared to be a strike. The throw to third is not in time. Apparently, ball 4 is called. And so Brandon Cabrera heads down to first base on the walk. The third free pass yielded. Yukamoto getting 2 stolen bases during this sequence. And with runners at the corners, Blake Wilson, the batter. Blake drew a walk and stole a base last inning. So the Knights already with 4 stolen bases in the ballgame and a 1-0 lead. Every stolen base means that Pape Material Handling and the Knights combine to give $30 apiece to Community Outreach, Inc., a local nonprofit dedicated to helping people through various travails and struggles get through it and lead healthy and productive lives. Community Outreach, Inc. Blake Wilson swings with the runner Cabrera going. A fly ball into shallow left field for a base hit. Coming in to score is Yukamoto. Holding at third base will be Brandon Cabrera. Blake Wilson with an RBI single. And the Knights lead it 3-0. Three nothing Knights. Blake Wilson with the RBI. Runners at the corners and 2 down for Kevin Takeuchi. Kevin drew a walk last inning. He swings at the first pitch and pulls it foul outside of third. 1 ball and no strikes. I think I gave the Knights a run they haven't quite earned yet. It's only 2-0. Wheeler and Yukamoto have scored. No, I've got Cabrera in. They just haven't put it up on the board yet. Now a steal of home is coming, and a great head-first slide by Brandon Cabrera, who I had score in a phantom-like manner moments ago. He is officially in on a steal of home. And the Knights with the 3-0 lead that simply must have been in the air in sort of a prophetic sense. My apologies. But Cabrera with some excellent base running. 3-0. A throw had gone over to first base, keeping an eye on Blake Wilson. And when the pickoff attempt was made at first by Molna, Cabrera timed it up perfectly and broke and scored. And he was indeed safe, unlike Jackie in the 55 World Series when Yogi tagged Jackie out. But he was called safe, a steal of home in the World Series. And now a late break from first by Blake Wilson, and he is safely into second with another stolen base. The Knights with 6 stolen bases through the first 2 innings and lead it 3-0. Kevin Takeuchi trying to add to the lead here with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. Molna delivers, pop foul towards the on-deck area of the CCL All-Stars, a sliding attempt by Troy Molna in front of his own dugout, not able to make the play, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's come to my understanding that Bo Kearns is driving, going to make a stop at home in Idaho and then head to Salt Lake City and join Gary Henderson. Gary was with us here just a couple of days ago. Bo, if you're listening, thank you for everything. Thank you for the great job you did here and the great job we know you're going to do with the Utes baseball program. You will be dearly missed here. Bo Kearns traveling, we love you and are going to miss you, and we know you have great things ahead in your coaching career, and thank you for everything you gave here. A fly ball into right center field. The center fielder, Jay O'Neill, lost the ball in the sun. Blake Wilson comes in to score, and racing to third with a triple is Kevin Takeuchi, and the Knights lead it 4-0. Jay O'Neill came in on a ball that ultimately carried over his head towards the gap in right center field, and Jay never saw it. And the right fielder, Jack Barker, went as far as he could to try to pick him up. But O'Neill simply lost the ball off the bat, and the sun is tough this time of the evening and doesn't know the conditions well. And Jay O'Neill not able to pull in what appeared to be a routine fly ball off of Kevin Takeuchi's bat. But Kevin gets the run batted in. The Knights lead it 4-0. Takeuchi at third, Luke Lavin the batter. Luke will work out of the stretch with Takeuchi at third. Luke backs away from a fastball but was nicked by it and will head down to first base, bringing C.J. Collier to the plate. C.J., the 9th man to come to the plate in the inning. 4-0 Knights with runners at first and third and 2 down. Luke Klooster out for a conversation with Troy Molna. So Cole Stringer has been handed the mantle and will be the Knights pitching coach for the rest of the season. And we have been blessed with great young men embarking on their coaching careers in some respects through the summers here. And Bo's been one of the best ever. The compliments coming from the pitchers that I've had the pleasure of interviewing this season, their gratitude to Bo has been just off the charts. And so safe travels, Bo, and we hope our paths cross again. Thank you for everything. C.J. Collier takes high, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch to C.J. missing low and inside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. C.J. fouled out last inning. The Knights have scored 4 in the inning. They've stolen 5 bases in the inning. The pitch to C.J. tried to check his swing. I believe he went. Mike Corwin says no. And the count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. It is always a pleasure for me to see Mike for a lot of reasons. I've known Mike for a long time. He's umpiring the bases here tonight. The 3-0 pitch. Collier green lighted. A high drive to deep left. Back goes Herwick to the track, to the fence. So long. C.J. Collier with the first home run I've seen the Knights hit in this ballpark this summer. Blasts it out, and the Knights lead at 6-0. The wind blowing out, so that long drive aided slightly by that, but Collier crushed it. No cheapie. So the Knights take advantage of Jay O'Neill not able to find a fly ball in the sun that would have ended the inning. And the pitch on the way to the guy that led the inning off, Colter McAnally, in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. The 0-1 pitch pulled foul into the seats down the left field line, the lower grandstand below the Jack Riley concourse. 0-2. I got a call from Mike Corwin in February of 1999 that changed my life. Sitting here primarily because of that. The strike 2 pitch hit into Urchin Alley off the facade of Dixon Recreation Center. Corwin called me knowing that I was available for some pinch hit duty for some Beaver baseball games in February of '99 and offered me the opportunity to go to Cal State Northridge early in Pat Casey's era here and call 4 games there. The very first game I called, Rich Dorman, the current Beaver pitching coach, pitched for the Beavers in that game. Rich said, that was the worst game of my life in baseball. And I said, Rich, I'm sorry. Sorry that was true, but it might have been the biggest day for me. My first day calling a Beaver event, and I've been grateful to be doing it since. The pitch on the way is swung on and missed by Colter McAnally to retire the side. The Knights get 7 runs in the inning. The big blow, a C.J. Collier home run. A 3-run blast for C.J. deep into this early evening beyond the power alley left center field fence. And Collier gives the Knights the coup de grace to the inning. 7 runs in the frame on 5 hits. And at the end of 2, the Knights 7 and CCL nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Hey Corvallis Knights fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, your one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors.
The third inning at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The Knights leading 7-0. 7 runs and 5 hits. Talon Ty takes a strike from Jackson Flora. Off-speed pitch fouled at the plate. No balls and 2 strikes to Talon. I've got to get that right and didn't have a chance. The time to get all of the information before the game. We'll try to have it all by tomorrow. The strike 2 pitch missing in the count, 1-2. Out of Kamiakin High School, Yakima Valley Community College. He takes the 1-2 pitch from Flora. Strike 3 called. 1 away to Ty. And Luke Klooster will be the hitter out of Duval, Washington, and O'Day High School, and also a competitor at Yakima Valley College. 7-0 Knights in this non-league affair in the top of the third inning. Jackson, a big leg kick to the plate. Fastball blown by Luke Klooster. No balls and 1 strike the count. Flora 6'4", 200 out of Pleasanton. Excellent pitcher for Coach Checketts at UCSB. Paints the black on the strike 1 fastball. Ahead of the count to Klooster. No balls and 2 strikes with Trevin Long on deck. 7-0 Knights. Jackson has retired the first 7 CCL hitters and just missed making it 8. A breaking ball just outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Klooster. Bright sunlight prevailing and a tough set of conditions for the hitter now. Flora out of the sunshine into the shadows. A fly ball off the bat of Klooster to right. C.J. Collier right there to haul it in. 2 away, and Trevin Long will be the hitter. Trevin out of Battleground High School and another competitor at Yakima Valley Community College. 2 down, nobody on. 7-0 Knights. It was 2 outs and nobody on last inning for the Knights in the last half-inning frame. Troy Molna had retired the first 2 nights, and behold, 7 runs on the board. First pitch fastball to Long, a strike. Flora comes back with a change, and that's in there for strike 2 to Trevin. Flora a strike away from mowing down the side again. The right-hander to the plate. Popped up into foul territory on the right side. Coulter McAnally comes over to make the catch. And it is a 1-2-3 frame again for Jackson Florin. At the end of 2.5, the Knights 7, CCL nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. County Schools Credit Union junior announcer will be hearing in the background as we go to the bottom of the third inning. The pleasant and sweet tones of Katie Jacobs, whose brother threw out the ceremonial first pitch tonight and did a great job in so doing. But Katie Jacobs is the junior announcer tonight, and that is sponsored, of course, by Benton County Schools Credit Union. And her brother Caleb Jacobs with the ceremonial first pitch with beaver gear on, so he's a good kid being raised up in the way. How is that whole ancient 3,000-year-old child in the way they should go, and when they're older they won't depart from it. Go Beavers forever. Cole Snido takes a first pitch strike in the count 0-1. Perhaps the writer was thinking of larger and bigger overall things in the scheme of things, but I'm applying it now. You raise up Caleb Jacobs in the Beaver way to go, and later he will not depart from it. A little pop-up on the infield. Shortstop Trevin Long is there to make the catch. Cole Snido retired by Gavin Gard, who has come on for Troy Molna. Snido popped out to Molna in the second inning. Gets jammed and hits a little pop-up to short here. And now Houston Wheeler the batter. Houston singled to right with 2 outs last inning. A bloop single to right field. And that opened the door to a 7-run frame. Now faces Gavin Gard. And Gavin's first pitch pops in for a strike. 0-1 the count. Gavin back to the plate. Houston swings and rolls it foul outside of third. That moves the count to 0-2 with 2 down and nobody on. Houston hoping to get something started again. Gavin's strike 2 pitch, slap foul, Waldo way. It remains 0-2. Gavin out of Adna High School, which I believe is in Chehalis. I couldn't quite understand and trying to read up on him whether he is currently at Shasta College in Reading or going there. The strike 2 pitch, Wheeler hit foul off to the left again and out of play to Houston. 0-2 the count. One out, nobody on, I should say, with Tai Yukamoto on deck. 1 out, nobody on. 7-0 Knights in the third. Gard delivers, breaking ball, swung out and missed. Strike 3 for 2 down. Tai Yukamoto followed Houston Wheeler's base hit last inning, lashing a line drive to center. And the big inning was on, culminating on a 3-run home run by C.J. Collier. The first home run the Knights have hit in this ballpark on the 2024 home schedule, albeit in a non-league affair. Tai Yukamoto takes the first pitch from Gard in the turf, ball 1. Brooke Knight coaching down at third, a delightful Brooke Knight night last night. Ed Nags coaching at first. The 1-0 pitch, Yukamoto lines it into left field for a base hit. Jaden Herwick plays the liner on a couple of hops. Couple of excellent swings by Yukamoto to center and to left field. Ty starting the night at 246. And his father Garrett enjoying, talking to Dave May down below in the first row of seats above the Jack Riley concourse behind home plate just below the McGrath family press box. Brandon Cabrera, the hitter, a throw to first, and back to the bag goes Ty. Ty with 2 stolen bases last inning. The Knights were running wild. The 1927 silent film of Fields, the year of Scully's birth, Lindbergh nonstop, New York to Paris, Jolie talking in a motion picture, and the Bambino hitting 60. 27 was a fertile year. Another throw to first and Yukamoto back. The pitch on the way, in there for a strike, and the count 0-1 to Cabrera. Seven nothing Knights in the third. Brandon Cabrera stole home last inning. A throw to first by Gavin Gard, and again Yukamoto back. And a balk is called on Gavin Gard. I thought his move, even to first, to try to get Yukamoto a moment ago, was close to a balk move. And here he separated the ball from his glove at some point, according to the motion that Mike Corwin made after coming to the set position. And that constitutes a balk. So Yukamoto in scoring position now, with a count of no balls and a strike to Brandon Cabrera. The pitch missing low, and the count 1-1. The Palmer family has arrived fashionably late. Todd and Camille and Jackson and Abby, they're enjoying hot dogs. They missed out on the nice t-shirts, though. It's one thing to be fashionably late, but they don't get to be in the latest night's fashion as a result, because the first 250 fans got the nice new Corvallis custom t-shirts. The pitch missing. 2 balls and a strike. Yukamoto hopping away from second. The pitch is in there for a strike to Brandon Cabrera, who lined out in the first and then was part of that big 7-run uprising after 2 outs and nobody on last inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Yukamoto at second. Gavin Gard to the plate and runs it inside for ball 3. 3-2. Again, it's fascinating to me that both Todd and Camille have worked at Los Alamos as engineers, and neither of them really much into Oppenheimer. The pitch to Cabrera, belted to left field. Brandon, who just missed hitting one out last night, just misses again. The ball goes off the middle of the fence in left center. Coming in to score easily is Tai Yukamoto, and Cabrera into second with a booming double, and the Knights lead it 8-0. I thought when that first left Brandon's bat that this one was going to have the distance to jump over the fence and left. The wind blowing out, and it sounded and looked as though Cabrera got the most of that one, and he may have, barreling it up nicely off the middle of the fence in the alley in left center. 8-0 Knights, 4 RBIs in the last 2 nights for Brandon Cabrera. Blake Wilson, the hitter. The pitch to Blake is lined down the right field line. Jack Barker moving over, a long run to make the catch and retire the side. But the Knights have scored all 8 of their runs after 2 outs. They get another one of those here in the third, a run, 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. And at the end of 3, the Knights 8 and CCL nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
We want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Knights fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, the one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors.
Eight to nothing Knights through 3 innings. 8 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Corvallis. No runs, no hits, no errors for CCL. Peyton Rickard fouling the first pitch to the left and out of play, and he does so again Waldo way towards Waldo Hall. Falling behind the count, no balls and 2 strikes. I have Peyton out of Kamiakin and Kennewick, having been at Yakima Valley College, but now at Corbin. He hits a little slow roller to the second baseman, Tai Yukamoto, who charges, gloves, and in a hurry fires to first and gets Rickard. 10 in a row set down by Jackson Flora. Good play by Tai, 1 away. And Travis Finney, the batter. Finney out of Melbourne, Australia. And when I looked Travis's name up, I was a little surprised, but somewhat pleased to see. And I don't even know if there's a connection to the 19th century famed evangelist or not, Charles Finney, but there's a Charles Finney Baseball Academy somewhere, and there's Finney Baseball somewhere too in Penfield, New York. And Travis Finney coming from down under, taking the 1-0 pitch from Jackson Flora for ball 2. 2-0, 1 out, nobody on in the fourth. Flora back to the plate and misses for ball 3. He hasn't allowed a base runner, but he falls behind quickly, 3 balls and no strikes to Travis Finney, the DH, who grounded out to first in the first. 8-0 Knights in the fourth as the breezes begin to pick up, the temperature dropping. The 3-0 fastball pumped through for a strike. The count 3-1 to Travis. Jackson Flora and Cole Snido, the battery for the Knights. The 3-1 pitch on the way, foul back, and the count 3-2. Yoongjin Yoon, Uni heading down towards the Knights bullpen. This may be the final inning of work for Flora. Coulter McAnally at first, Ty Yukamoto at second, Blake Wilson at short, Kevin Takeuchi at third, Houston Wheeler in left, Brandon Cabrera in center, C.J. Collier in right. The 3-2 fastball on the inside corner. Strike 3 called, 2 down. Good work by Flora. Falling behind 3-0, comes back to strike out Travis Finney. 4 strikeouts for Flora, and with 2 down and nobody on, Jack Barker, the hitter. Flora, in what I believe will be his final inning of work, trying to retire all 12 CCL batters that he faces here this evening. Barker takes low and in, ball 1, 1-0. Same 2 clubs tomorrow night, 6:35 on baseball giveaway night. The 1-0 fastball swung on and missed. 1 ball and 1 strike the count to Barker. First 250 fans to receive baseball's compliments of Horesco Chiropractic. Fastball from Flora is in there for strike 2. 1-2 the count. Jackson Flora, an outstanding pitcher, and is a strike away from retiring all 12 batters that he's faced. This 1-2 pitch was off speed, swung on and missed. Pitch was in the turf. The throw to first from Snido to McAnally secures the strikeout. 12 up, 12 down through 4 innings for Jackson Flora. We go to the bottom of the fourth at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The Knights 8, CCL nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Gavin Gord ready to go in the bottom of the fourth inning with the Knights leading 8-0. Gavin, the right-hander for the Cascade Collegiate Showcase team, misses inside to Kevin Takeuchi. 1-0 the count. Kevin has walked and tripled. It was a triple that Jay O'Neill lost in the sun. The 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. Kevin followed by Luke Lavin and then C.J. Collier. Gavin back to the plate. Fastball a little low and in. Ball 2, 2-1. Gavin Gord and Luke Klooster, the battery for CCL. Alden Brown at first. Talon Ty at second. Trevin Long at short. Peyton Rickard at third. Breaking ball hit sharply back up the middle into center field. Base hit. Jay O'Neill gets the ball back in. A big turn by Takeuchi, and he holds with a solid single to center to open the bottom of the fourth. Luke Lavin, the designated hitter to the plate. Luke has struck out and been hit by a pitch. Knights baseball is presented by our friends at Best Western Corvallis, the official hotel partner of your Corvallis Knights. the largest hotel rooms in the city, an outdoor heated pool conveniently located close to Goss. Wherever life takes you, Best Western is there. A throw to first and Takeuchi back. The pitch to Luke Lavin misses down and away. The Knights with 6 stolen bases tonight. With every stolen base, Pape Material Handling and the Knights make a contribution to Community Outreach Inc. So a fruitful night for COI thus far tonight. The 1-0 fastball, high and away, ball 2, 2-0 to Luke. C.J. Collier, who homered in the second, on deck. Gavin, the second pitcher of the evening for CCL, comes set, delivers on the outside corner. A late break by Takeuchi and another $30 to Community Outreach Inc. The Knights with their 7th stolen base of the evening. And now Luke Lavin with a count of 2 balls and a strike, looking for a run batted in. The Knights are playing according to form, dominating the game as would be expected from a 7-time champion West Coast League team against a bunch of good ball players. But for the most part, I think there's 1, maybe 2 Division I players on the roster for CCL. Lavin with a count of 3-1 plays at Stanford. The 3-1 pitch, breaking pitch down and in for ball 4. Luke trots down to first, and C.J. Collier, looking for that D1 home, will come to the plate. The Northwest Conference Player of the Year gave a real good example of why in his last at-bat. After fouling out in the first, he had a 3-run home run to left in the Knights' 7-run second. We're in the bottom of the 4th, 8-0 Knights. Kevin Takeuchi at second base, pardon me. Luke Lavin getting his lead from first. The pitch to Kevin misses down and away, ball 1. But just, again, to look at the contrast in roster composition. You have Takeuchi from USC getting his lead from second. Luke Lavin from Stanford getting his lead from first. C.J. Collier swings and hits 1 foul outside of third. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. So to see the Knights up 8-0 in the 4th would be, in a sense, the expectation. But I do remember back when the games mattered, the college all-stars beat Vince Lombardi's Green Bay Packers. So you never know. The 1-1 pitch, a strike, a throw down to first, scrambling back is Luke Lavin safely. 1-2 the count to C.J. Collier. With 2 on, nobody out on Corvallis Custom T-shirt night. And the birthday being celebrated right below us. One of the proprietors of Corvallis Custom. The pitch on the way, a check swing foul. Rebecca and her husband J.B. Freeby. Rebecca and J.B. Freeby are the owners of Corvallis Custom, and Rebecca is celebrating a birthday tonight here at the ballpark with friends and the Knights staff member Heather O'Malley was spending time right below our vantage point here a little while ago. The 1-2 pitch on the way to Collier misses low. Ball 2, 2-2. Colter McAnally on deck. Dan Kammerzelt is here tonight, an outstanding educator at Corvallis High School with his son Burton. First time I've seen them at a Knights game this summer. He has his Ohtani Angels gear on. The 2-2 pitch, Collier, a chopper back up the middle into center field for a base hit. Takeuchi will score without a play. Lavin stops at second. An RBI single for C.J. Collier, 4 ribbies on the night, and the Knights lead it 9-0. Colter McAnally will be the hitter. Colter has flied to center and struck out. Two on and nobody out in the 4th. The Knights did not score in the first, but have come back with 7 in the second, 1 in the third, have scored 1 in the 4th, and now McAnally is drilled in the left arm to load the bases for Cole Snido. Gavin Gard misfiring trying to pitch inside. Well, he achieved that, but came a little too far in. To load him up, Cole Snido has popped to first and popped to short. He's at the plate with the bases loaded and nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. The Knights trying to break it even more wide open. Gage delivers, swung on and fouled into Urchin Alley right behind us. No balls and 1 strike the count. The infield a double play depth for CCL, and here is a ground ball that could be 2. Trevin Long goes to tie for 1 on to first, and it is 2, a double play. 6-4-3. Snido grounding into the double play. On the play, Luke Lavin coming in to score. No RBI, though, because of the double play for Snido. 2 down, Houston Wheeler the batter. Houston has singled to right and struck out. On the play, C.J. Collier going to third. The pitch on the way to Houston. Fastball swung on and missed. 10-0 Knights in the bottom of the fourth. Houston has singled and struck out. Looking for an RBI in this non-league affair. With Collier at third, the strike 1 pitch just outside. 1-1 the count. Knights baseball is also presented by Smith Glass, on the cutting edge since 1945. For new or replacement windows, we encourage you to consider Smith Glass, a longtime partner of the Corvallis Knights and serving our community again since 1945. 2 balls and 1 strike to Houston Wheeler. C.J. Collier at third, 2 down. Houston swings and misses. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two more runs in the inning, 10-0 Knights in the fourth. Guard delivers and the ball gets through the catcher, Luke Klooster, enabling Collier to come down the line and score and put the Knights up 11-0. I'll have to check with Brooks Hatch, but I believe that'll be scored a pass ball. The pitch was low, but it did not hit the turf and got through the mitt of Klooster. 11-0 Knights. 3-2 to Houston Wheeler. Gavin Guard from the stretch with nobody on delivers. Wheeler a fly ball to right field and playable for Jack Barker. Jack makes the catch, and the inning is over. The Knights get 3 more, and at the end of 4, the Knights 11 and Cascade Collegiate League Showcase All-Stars nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
News that you can trust. Subscribe to the Gazette-Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette-Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette-Times community, where Knights fans looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, your one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors.
11-0 Knights as we go to the fifth, and I had presumed incorrectly about Jackson Flora's night. He'll continue to pitch. The first pitch to Alden Brown, a fly ball to shallow left field that'll drop for a base hit, plopping in front of Houston Wheeler. So that ends the string. Flora had retired 12 straight. The first 12 batters that he faced here tonight. But Alden Brown, first ball swinging, a dunker to left for a base hit. Jackson Flora has gone all the way and pitches into the fifth. And the first pitch to Jay O'Neill, swung on and missed, in the count 0-1. O'Neill lost a ball in the sun earlier. And when I think about the images I've seen in this great game of baseball, the first season that I knew the sport, first year of accountability, it feels like. That's when I began to reckon life in terms of sports and seasons and years. 1966. Jay O'Neill takes strike two. No balls and 2 strikes. Alden Brown at first. Nobody out in the fifth. The strike 2 pitch, a check swing. On appeal, Mike Corwin says no swing. 0-2 on Jay. But I still can kind of taste the salt and the tears that I cried sitting at Dodger Stadium with my dad October 8, 1966, what turned out to be Koufax's last game, and I was there. The 1-2 fastball hit Waldo away, but it was not an outing to celebrate or a day to celebrate for the Dodgers, in that this young 8-year-old fan of that team growing up in the Southland at Dodger Stadium for Game 2 of the 66 World Series, and Willie Davis dropped 2 fly balls, losing them in the sun. A fly ball to the Knights center fielder, to left center. Brandon Cabrera locates the baseball with little trouble and goes over to catch it, 1 away. And Jaden Herwick, the batter. But I remember being at that game, skipping school. Those are day games in the World Series. How quaint that all was. Sneaking radios, watching games on TV if you had an elementary teacher that liked baseball. The pitch to Herwick hit foul down the left field line. Good hustle by Takeuchi, sliding with his back to home plate to try to haul it in. Unable to, but a good effort by Kevin, Blake Wilson, and Wheeler, all hustling to try to grab the foul ball. No balls and a strike. Got taken out of school because the tickets came late in the whole affair. I was at school the morning of October 8th of 66 in my 2nd grade class with Mrs. Hudgens. I see my mom walking to the gates into the school as we were out in recess. And she says, "Come here, son. Your father just got tickets to the World Series and you're going." But don't tell, that's not a good enough excuse. So throw to first, and Alden Brown is picked off. Good move by Jackson Flora. 2 down. And the count 0-1 to Jaden Herwick. But my mom says, don't tell I'll tell Mrs. Hudgens you have a dental appointment. I don't think going to a baseball game is a good enough excuse. So don't say anything. Jaden Herwick hits 1 foul off to the left and out of play. 0-2 the count. 2 down, nobody on, 11-0 Knights. But I just start running around all over the playground. I'm going to the World Series. I'm going to the World Series. I'm going to the World Series. The strike 2 pitch is swung on and missed. I woke up that morning not knowing I was going to the World Series. And Mrs. Hudgens smilingly said, "I've never seen a young man so excited to be going to the dentist in my life." As I was running around yelling, "I'm going to the series," and Mom came up with that very lame excuse about why she was pulling me out of school. The World Series would have and should have been good enough as an excuse. So I'm going to the World Series. I'm going to the World Series. My delight turned to pain not long thereafter, though, when I saw my center fielder, Willie, drop back-to-back fly balls, losing them in the sun. And I was crying when it happened, as the Orioles started to score unearned runs after unearned runs. And I say to my dad, "Dad, what's going on? What's wrong with Willie?" Willie was one of my heroes. That is a young kid. "Son, he just lost the ball. See that, son? He lost it." And I've had respect for that as a reality in the game ever since. And we saw it happen earlier tonight to Jay O'Neill. It's tough. A good outing for Jackson Flora. Once again, I think it may be over. We go to the bottom of the 5th. He has faced the minimum through 5. The Knights 11 and CCL nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Blake Geffert is the new pitcher for CCL, with the Knights leading 11-0 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Tai Yukamoto has 2 line drive singles to his credit tonight, and has scored 2 runs and stolen 2 bases. Takes a strike from the left-hander Geffert. The 0-1 pitch misses high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Blake Geffert out of Vancouver's Union High School at William Jessup in Rockland, California, delivers the 1-1 pitch just outside. 2-1 the count to Tai Yukamoto. Tai will be followed by Brandon Cabrera and then Blake Wilson. The 2-1 pitch inside. Ball 3, 3-1. 11-0 Knights in the 5th. Geffert to the plate, low and inside for ball 4. Mike Corwin, the base umpire. Mike worked for Oregon State Credit Union for a long time. I believe he's retired now, but Oregon State Credit Union, it's a reminder that next Wednesday, the big fireworks night presented by Oregon State Credit Union. We hope you have your tickets. Always a huge night that's been a sellout perennially for many years. Oregon State Credit Union with 15 branches and has been serving our community for a longtime partner of the Knights, and the fireworks show sponsor again next Wednesday night right here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, with Ridgefield in town, and the resumption of league play on Tuesday. A throw to first base. Back to the bag goes Tai Yukamoto. 0-1 to Brandon Cabrera. 11-0 Knights. There goes Yukamoto. I'm a little surprised to see him running. 11-0 in the 5th. He's in with a stolen base. His 3rd. That may be, if Tai was going on his own, I don't know. It is only the 5th inning, but I am a little surprised to see the run game, and in that sense, still on, but Tai might have just seen the opportunity to go on his own. We'll see. The pitch on the way in there for a strike. It is only the 5th inning. Brandon Cabrera down in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Has lined out, walked and scored, and doubled home a run. Yukamoto again hopping away from the bag out at second. The 1-2 pitch missing high. Ball 2. 2-2. The Knights did not score in the 1st inning. It was not necessarily a harbinger. 7 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th. The pitch, though, to Brandon Cabrera is swung on and missed. So 1 away in the bottom of the 5th. Blake Wilson, the hitter. Blake has walked, singled home a run and scored and flied to right field. The left-hander Geffert to the plate. The first pitch misses a little bit high, ball one. Good crowd tonight. And we expect the same again tomorrow. A nice Friday night gathering. Tomorrow night, 6:35, the same two teams. The first 250 fans will get a baseball. The 1-0 pitch, low and inside, ball two, 2-0. Seeing the Angels stuff, the gear on Dan Camerzelt, the outstanding educator at Corvallis High School. I remember going to baseball night at Anaheim Stadium. The 2-0 pitch, missing high, ball three. It's one of those things where, you get this full autograph baseball by every member. I think of the 1967 Angels. Good club, by the way. One of their better ones. I think went 85 and 77, but I got the full autograph baseball from the Angels of that year. The 3-0 pitch, pounded foul with a green light on. Wilson still up there, 3-1. And you know how it is, I hope, and I'm sure many of you have experienced it in your day. But when you run out of baseballs, I remember the day I kind of somewhat loath to put the fully autographed baseball giveaway from Angel Stadium in play, but we lost our last one in the bushes. Yeah, get that autographed baseball, we'll use that. The 3-1 pitch, a line drive to center field for a base hit. Kai Yukamoto rounds third and will score without a play. Blake Wilson with a run-scoring single, and the Knights lead it 12-0. Kevin Takeuchi will come to the plate. 12 runs and 10 hits for the Knights. Brooke Knight, when I think about the Knights' approach here tonight, it's been impressive. And 2 nights in a row, so it has been. But it strikes me as after a desultory performance and getting swept by Cowlitz in the doubleheader 2 nights ago, it just seems as though Brooke put together a lineup tonight, even with all of the advantages that he has with this team and the league and the D1 players and all of that he is grateful to be working with on his roster. But I think kind of wants to get the club back into the right frame of mind and mojo after 3 games. The first 3 games of the series against Cowlitz were not played on the Knights' usual level. They returned to form last night with a 10-3 win and are leading this one 12-0, albeit a non-league affair. And I think that's why we're still seeing frontline guys in that sense, so to speak. Everybody on the roster gets a chance to play, but he has his primary guys in, and Jackson Flora in. And whether Jackson has another inning in, we'll see. 2 balls and 1 strike with a pitch missing to Takeuchi, who's walked, tripled, and singled. A throw to first base. Blake Wilson back to the bag. 12-0. The Knights in front in the bottom of the 5th. The pitch on the way is outside. The count 3-1. Jim Bouton talked about Ralph Houck in ball 4 would occasionally, just to fire the guys up, no matter who the Yankees were playing in their halcyon days before the skid began after the 64 season. The 3-1 pitch high and away for ball 4 to Kevin Takeuchi. Among the many amusing snippets in the classic by the Bulldog, Jim Bouton, Roger Kahn called it the unfortunate ball 4. And it was sort of the first of this is kind of what really goes on and what ball players are really like and what they talk about and the behavior they engage in. Jim did open a window to that many people were disappointed that he did. But it's the only book on the New York Times history of books, the only sports book that made the top 100 list of American books in our history. The only sports book to make the cut was Jim's ball 4. Luke Lavin, for what that's worth. Lavin takes down and away, ball 1, 1-0. 12-0 Knights in the bottom of the 5th. But he said Houck would get everybody fired up. Well, let's compare lineups, he'd say. The 1-0 pitch to Lavin is high for ball 2. He'd say, well, okay, who do we have? Well, who do they have in the 3-hole? We've got Mickey Mantle. Who do they have in the... Well, we've got Roger Maris. And on it would go, and the guys would just be laughing, say, I guess we should win the game, Skip. Lavin pulls one foul, past first. Ed Nags chases the ball down. that careened into fair territory in shallow right. 2 balls and a strike. That being said, that's the thing in baseball, you don't know nothing, as a great Yankee once said, Yogi, I believe. The 2-1 pitch to Lavin, high and inside, ball 3. That, those teams would occasionally lose to a lowly Washington Senators club, let us say. 3 balls and a strike to Luke Lavin. The sheer difficulty of the game renders that possible. First and second, 2 down. The 3-1 pitch to Lavin misses for ball 4. The 3rd walk in the inning, that loads the bases for C.J. Collier. C.J.'s had a big night. And whether he's going to get a chance to swing it now against the left-hander Blake Geffert, we'll see. The coach, Ben Kruger, is on his way out to the mound. Collier already has 4 RBIs on the night, a 3-run homer and an RBI single. But he comes to the plate now with the bases loaded and 1 out. And he will get a chance to hit against Blake Geffert. And a chance to really have himself a night. It's already been a good one with the 4 RBIs. He's got a chance for a couple of more here against Geffert. Well, the Knights leading commandingly, 12-0. Collier has popped out, had the 3-run homer and the run-scoring single. CJ swings and slices one foul down the right field line and out of play. No balls and 1 strike. The Knights have been involved with some pretty tight games of late. Last night, though, they won handily 10-3 on Brook Night at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The strike 1 pitch just misses, and the count 1-1. Colter McAnally on deck. Bases loaded, 1 out. The infield at double play depth. CJ with 4 RBIs already, looking for a couple of more. Geffert delivers outside for ball 2. 2-1. I had mentioned, speaking of Roger Kahn, who not so much disliked Boughton, but didn't like Boughton lifting the curtain. He wasn't alone. 2-1 pitch, a strike, and the count 2-2. Now, I've been a big fan of that book since I was 13 and became a big fan of Jim Boughton himself and had the honor of interviewing him a couple of times and loved the Bulldog. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch on the way to Collier. Swung on and missed for strike 3. 2 down. Colter McAnally will be the batter. I love Jim's love for the game itself, and I thought ball 4 itself ultimately was a great pay-on to the game of baseball. And even with some of the somewhat unsavory revelations and the things that got the ire of Bowie Kuhn and Mickey Mantle and others up, nevertheless, I think he was coming at it from a good place, a right kind of place, and just sharing, hey, this is what our world is like. The pitch to McAnally away, ball 1, 1-0. He may have violated some clubhouse code. May is not the right word. He did. Many others have done so far in a far more salacious fashion since. The 1-0 pitch away, ball 2, 2-0. But as much as I note the disapproval by Kahn of Boughton, I love Kahn. And I'm going to share a paragraph tonight of what I think is just elegant writing by one of the late great writers we've ever had in sports and in other fields too. The 2-0 pitch missing. I was saying the other night how no one writes a better peroration or conclusion or concluding sort of sentence than Kahn did in his life. And I've got one that I really have appreciated through the years in his work on Robert Frost. 3 balls, no strikes, 2 down, bases loaded. The 3-0 pitch taken for a strike by Colter McAnally. Colter has flied to center, struck out, and been hit by a pitch. Bases loaded. 2 down. The left-hander Geffert to the plate. Line foul towards the Omaha room. Everybody's okay, and a nice catch by a fan who holds the baseball high, holds her hands high in the air, to acknowledge the plaudits of the Knights fans, and well deserved. Good catch. 3-2, 2 down. The runners go, and the 3-2 pitch is high and away to McAnally for ball 4. Blake Wilson down the line to score. The Knights lead it 13-0, and Cole Snido will be the hitter. Thanks for hanging around. Sorry it took so long. Thank you. Cole Snido, 0 for 3. Up there with the bases loaded, takes a strike, and the count 0-1. 7 runs in the second, 1 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth for the Knights. Leading it 13-0 and looking for more, with Cole Snido looking for his first hit. He takes the strike 1 pitch a little bit away. Ball 1, 1-1. Houston Wheeler on deck, a right-hander throwing back of Blake Geffert in the CCL bullpen. Snido takes high and away. Ball 2, 2-1. The base is full with 2 down. Kevin Takeuchi at third, Luke Lavin at second, Coulter McAnally at first. Snido takes away for ball 3, 3-0. 4 walks in the inning, and a count of 3-1 to Cole Snido. If Geffert does deliver a Jim Bouton here, we'll probably see a change of pitchers. Blake's 3-1 pitch, a ground ball slowly to third. Peyton Rickard up with it, throws to first. The inning is over. But the Knights get 2 more. We go to the 6th. The Knights 13 and the CCL All-Stars nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Matthew Goebel takes over pitching chores for the Corvallis Knights as we go to the 6th. The Knights leading 13-0. Frost wrote this, and he went to visit the great poet Robert Frost when Robert was 85. And here's how he concludes the essay Encountering Frost, Roger Kahn. I brought my son to see him a year later on a day when Frost wanted to talk politics. I listened disappointed. I wanted to talk poetry. The child ran out into a cornfield and played. Then it was time to go, and I gathered the child, hiked him onto my shoulder, and started down the steep hill. Frost ran to the porch calling, "The boy, the boy. I have to say goodbye to the boy." I turned, and then the boy stared at Frost, who was 87, stared at Frost, all wonder, and Frost looked at the boy with a face I read as love. Down the hill, I heard Robert Frost cry after me, "Come back again if you'd care to." Because trivialities crowded my life, I never did. That is a beautiful, poignant, almost tear-inducing sentence, the final sentence. Because trivialities, he actually said, because trivialities crowded my time, I never did. Wow. I think about things that we choose to do. And here's Robert Frost inviting him to come back to his house. And he never did again. Thank you, Roger Kahn, for that. I feel like Bill Walton in a thank you, Roger Kahn, for my life. But I mean, that I've been reading Kahn most of my life and love him, and that's partly why. That's beautiful. 13-0 Knights. The first pitch missing to Talandai from the right-hander Matthew Goebel out of UCLA. The 1-0 pitch for the pride of Lodi. Misses high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes. A great outing for Jackson Flora. He faced the minimum. Ty swings and it's one foul down the right field line. Coulter McAnally will give way to the second baseman Ty Yukamoto, who calls him off in that Bermuda Triangle, Arkansas Razorback kind of area, and Yukamoto takes charge and makes the catch. Good job. One away with UCLA right-hander Matthew Goebel. Thank you so much, Amanda. Getting the first out. Amanda bringing me a little bit of food and beverage to get through the rest of this ball game. The pitch to Luke Klooster. Swung on and missed, and the count 0-1 to the right-hand hitting catcher who flied to right against the starter, Jackson Flora, who allowed just one base runner but picked him off to end up facing the minimum through 5, a base hit. And then picked off Alden Brown. And then I saw Mike Corwin explaining why he called Alden out at the end of the play. Good of Mike to do so. No balls and 2 strikes to Luke Klooster. Brown thought he had gotten back in safely. The strike 2 pitch swung on and fouled back. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes with Knights right-hander Matt Goebel. 2 league appearances, just an inning and a third. That will be ramped up as we go throughout the rest of the summer, heading down the stretch of the first half. The strike 2 pitch from Matt, the big righty, misses. 6'5", 220. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Luke Klooster with Trevin Long on deck. Matt works out of the stretch with nobody on, delivers just outside. Ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. From the stretch, the right-hander Jackson Flora set, and the 2-2 pitch, a line drive, base hit to center field. Kind of left a breaking ball up a bit, and Luke Klooster singles to center. The second hit of the night for CCL, and that'll bring Trevin Long to the plate. Mark Canham, Mitch's father, walking through the concourse here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field with Darren Kossoff. Good to see Coach Canham's papa here. Present at every Beaver game during the course of the spring. A ground ball wide of third. Fielded at third by Takeuchi. Goes to Yukamoto at second for 1 and on to first for the double play. 5-4-3 on the around the horn twin killing. Well done. Takeuchi, Yukamoto to McAnally, and again, Knights pitchers have faced the minimum through 6. We go to the bottom of the 6th. That remains the Knights 13, CCL nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bottom of the 6th inning. The Knights in command, I dare say, leading 13-0. Blake Geffert getting ready to go to a Knights club that was held scoreless in the first, but has since had 7 in the second, 1 in the third, 3 in the fourth, and 2 in the fifth. And here in the bottom of the 6th inning, it'll be Houston Wheeler to lead things off. Houston got the Knights going with a 2-out single to right field. That opened the door to a 7-run second. And now Houston, who has since struck out and flied to right field, steps in against Blake Geffert. Under the lights on a cool, breezy evening, winds blowing out to left center field. In the midst of the 13-run barrage, the Knights have 1 home run, a 3-run blast by C.J. Collier. 1 ball and no strikes, no balls and 1 strike. The first pitch a called strike to Houston. Geffert back to the plate and misses. 1-1 to Houston Wheeler. Tai Yukamoto on deck with Brandon Cabrera to follow. Geffert, the lefty, to the plate. Houston takes low and inside. Ball 2. 2-1. The pitch to Houston, swung on and lifted foul, Waldo away. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. For what it's worth, Walter O'Malley didn't like Roger Kahn's The Boys of Summer because he felt, did Walter, that Roger pulled back too much of a curtain on kind of the real life of ball players after their glorious careers and having to work in the off season due to Walter's somewhat penurious ways. Wheeler with a nice swing, a ground ball base hit to right. He has 2 hits tonight, and the batter will be Tai Yukamoto. But The Boys of Summer is a classic of its own kind. I'm sure many of you read it if you're in my age, roughly thereabouts. I know maybe not too many of you left, but The Boys of Summer was one of those books that we like to read in junior high and write reports on. The Brooklyn Dodgers in their heyday. Tai Yukamoto takes ball 1, and then in their non-heyday. I've seen The Boys of Summer in their ruin. Dylan Thomas line that Roger appropriated for the title of his book that has that sort of romantic ring. The Boys of Summer. The Boys of... But it was The Boys of Summer in their ruin, and in a sense, as Yukamoto takes low and in, ball 3, that Roger was writing about Carl Furillo and Billy Lowe's and others after the glory days. Yukamoto takes ball 3, and now the left-hander Blake Geffert delivers a strike. 3-1 to Tai, who's had himself a good ball game. Single to center, stole 2 bases, scored a run in the second, singled and scored in the third, walked and scored last inning. He swings and singles into left field again. Jaden Herwick gets the baseball back in. Big night for Tai Yukamoto in the 9th hole. 3 for 3 with 3 runs scored. Houston Wheeler stopping at second. And Kellen Siegel will be the batter. Kellen batting for Brandon Cabrera, and we may well see some other players on the Knights roster get an opportunity to hit here now. With the Knights leading 13-0 in the 6th. Kellen swings, and it's a ground ball to second. Tai goes to long for 1 on to first, not in time. Kellen, a good athlete, getting down the line to avert the double play ball on the fielder's choice. 4-6. 1 away. On the play, Houston Wheeler into third. And that brings Blake Wilson to the plate. Blake is 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored and 2 runs driven in. First and third and 1 out. 13-0 Knights. The infield a double play depth back of Blake Geffert. Wilson takes high. Ball 1. 1-0. Ball 4 was not on an approved list to write a report on at Newton Junior High School in Hacienda Heights. The 1-0 pitch lifted to right field, playable for Barker. This should produce or could produce a run, but holding at third will be Houston Wheeler. Up 13-0. Brook Knight just said, let's hold on. I think it would have been interesting as fast as Wheeler runs to see what might have happened had Jack Barker fired a strike to the plate. But in this case, Brook just said, stay here. 2 down, and the batter will be Kevin Takeuchi. Kevin has walked, tripled, singled, and walked again. Kevin takes a strike. The count 0-1. Now, I Am Third was on the approved list. Foul 2 by Connie Hawkins. Book reports done on that. The strike 1 pitch just misses. But Boys of Summer was a big hit for reports on books. Write them up and talk about them in front of the classroom. Good exercises. I hope they're still being done. The 1-1 pitch is down and away. Ball 2, 2-1. Haven't visited enough. I don't know enough. I just know that those books in those days, and talking early 70s, were important exercises for all of us. Junior high and high school. And I assume that that's still part of how kids learn to read and write and speak today. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. The 2-2 pitch missing high and away. Ball 3, 3-2. Houston Wheeler at third. Kellen Siegel at first. 2 down. 13-0 Knights in the bottom of the 6th. Siegel goes. The 3-2 pitch is hit foul to the right, and it will make the alley. A fan was reaching at the very top of the fence in the back row of bleachers in the upper grandstand to our right and just missed making a 2-handed grab and collecting a souvenir, but the Urchins give chase now. 3-2 the count. Again, Kellen will go on the pitch. Takeuchi takes ball 4 to load him up. Big Luke Lavin strides to the plate. With the bases loaded and 2 down, the Knights have not scored here in the 6th, but have an opportunity to do so. Luke has walked 3 times, been walked twice and hit by a pitch. Takeuchi has now walked 3 times. Lavin swings and misses in the count 0-1. The strike 1 pitch pulled foul outside of first, and the count 0-2. 8 walks and 2 hit batters yielded by CCL pitching tonight. 13-0 Knights in the bottom of the 6th. Bases loaded, 2 down. The strike 2 pitch to Luke misses away. Ball 1. Had the pleasure of meeting both Luke and Kaysen Consarinia before the game tonight. They were sitting in the stands and told them how much I've enjoyed watching them play, and that's indeed true. The 1-2 pitch missing inside, ball 2, and also shared my pangs of regret about not being able to see them next spring somewhere because the Beavers will no longer be playing Stanford, UCLA. The 2-2 pitch, at least not on a regular basis. Lavin, astonished by the call, takes strike 3 called, and the inning is over. The Knights leave the bases loaded. It was a given. All these summers past, we'd see players from other teams in the league come in, and we look forward to seeing them in the spring. We may see some of these guys again, but not next year. No runs, no hits, nobody left. The Knights leave 3. We go to the 7th. Corvallis 13, CCL nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Subscribe to the Gazette Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette Times community.
Through 6 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Knights 13 runs, 12 hits, and no errors. For Cascade Collegiate League Showcase stars, no runs, 2 hits, and no errors. To the 7th inning we go. The first pitch missing to Peyton Rickard, ball 1. Flora went the first 5. Matt Goebel pitched last inning. The pitchers have faced the minimum. The 1-0 pitch missing for ball 2. The first hit erased on a pickoff move by Jackson Flora. And last inning, a 1-out single. Trevin Long grounded into a double play. The 2-0 pitch misses outside, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes to Peyton Rickard, who has flied to center and grounded to second. Matthew Goebel from the stretch, the 3-0 pitch, ball 4. And we'll see if the Knights can erase that. First time a walk has been issued. Jackson Flora avoided ball 4. Matthew Goebel issues the first free pass of the evening. And Travis Finney, the batter. Finney has grounded to first and struck out looking. Colter McAnally holding on. Peyton Rickard at first, and the pitch to Travis misses low and inside, ball 1, 1-0. There is a little bit of activity, it appears, going on in the Corvallis Knights bullpen. There's a right-hander playing catch. Back of Matt Goebel, the 1-0 pitch in there for a strike, and the count 1-1. Matthew out of the stretch, and the right-hander comes back and hits Travis Finney. Certainly the last thing that Goebel, anybody, up 13 runs, just giving up the free pass. So a walk and a hit batter, and Matthew Goebel will attempt now to kind of right himself, throw strikes, pitch to contact, get the double play ball, and to keep things in good order here with the 13-run lead in the 7th. Matt to the plate and misses. Down and away, ball 1, 1-0. Jack Barker has grounded to first and struck out. 2 on, nobody out in the 7th. 13-0 Knights. Goebel and Cole Snido, the battery. The 1-0 pitch on the way is in there for a strike, and the count 1-1. The Knights with a new center fielder now will set the Knights defensively here in the 7th in a moment. Good snag by Snido on a pitch down in the turf, ball 2, 2-1. Goebel and Snido the battery. Colter McAnally at first, and Cole Stringer kind of sensing that Matt's a little off. The Knights pitching coach full-time going forward for the rest of the summer, with Bo Kearns en route to Lewiston and making a stop at home before heading to Salt Lake City to go to work full-time for Gary Henderson in the Utah Utes program as a director of ops. And a great opportunity ahead for Bo there, just as Connor Lambert, a former Knights pitching coach, had a great opportunity as well with the Utah Utes organization as a director of ops. Now doing a tremendous job on the bluff for Jeff Loomis. And Cole out for a quick word with Matthew Goebel. Goebel and Snido the battery. Coulter McAnally at first. Ty Yukamoto at second. Blake Wilson at short. Kevin Takeuchi at third. Houston Wheeler in left. Kellen Siegel, who hit for Brandon Cabrera, now in center. 2 balls and 1 strike, the count to Jack Barker. And the 2-1 pitch misses outside for ball 3, 3-1. C.J. Collier around and right for the Knights. Goebel from the stretch. And Matthews' 3-1 pitch, fastball in there for a strike to run the count full to 3-2. Alden Brown, the on-deck hitter. 13-0 Knights in the 7th. Goebel trying to keep it that way. The big righty to the plate. The 3-2 pitch misses to load him up. Nobody out. And we'll see a hitter now in Nate Merritt. He may have taken over defensively when the Knights were at bat, but now Nate Merritt gets his first at bat of the game. Left-hand hitting first baseman here in the 7th. And the pitch to Nate is hit up the middle into center field for a base hit. Peyton Rickard scores. Travis Finney on the way to the plate. He will score. The throw coming in from Kellen Siegel hits the sliding Jack Barker on the foot as Jack made his way into third. So 2 runs in on the base hit by Nate Merritt. Now the Knights 13 and CCL 2. And 2 more runners in scoring position. So the freebies coming back to bite Matthew Goebel. A walk and a hit batter have scored. Jack Barker, who also walked into third. And Nate Merritt with a 2-run single. Jay O'Neill, the batter, has struck out, and this may be a different hitter too than O'Neill. I've got to take a look, train the glasses in, and see whom we have at the plate. Second and third, nobody out. First pitch, breaking ball, in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. It's not O'Neill, and I'm trying to get a read on the number. Okay, there we go. It is Davis Downer. No balls and a strike to the right-hand hitter. The 0-1 pitch to Downer. Breaking ball down and in. Davis out of O'Day High School, Everett Community College, and has been tutored by Brent Lillibridge, former Husky and part of Base by Pros. Mitch Canham, who founded the company, divested himself of it when he became the head coach at Oregon State. And some good teaching. Line drive, base hit to center field. In to score is Jack Barker, an RBI single for Davis Downer. And it's now the Knights 13 and CCL 3. On the play, and his third base goes Nate Merritt. And that brings Jaden Herwick to the plate. Left-handed hitter is hit back to the box and struck out. Still nobody out in the inning. 3 runs in. The Knights still, obviously, in pretty good shape in this one, but good for CCL. They have shown some real life here, taking advantage of the largesse and now beginning to swing the bats. Back-to-back base hits to drive in 3 runs after the free passes. The first pitch to Herwick, a strike. 0-1 the count to Jaden. There goes the runner from first, Davis Downer, and the throw on a hop. Nice snag by Blake Wilson, and applies the tag on Downer. And with all of the good things going on for CCL here in the 7th, the last name is apropos. That is a bit of a downer for CCL. And they get a runner thrown out, down 13-3 at second. Herwick sees one sail to the backstop, coming down the line and getting there on the wild pitch to score is Nate Merritt. And it's now 13-4 Knights with only 1 out, in a count of 2 balls and a strike to Jaden Herwick. Good throw by Cole Snido and a nice one-hop snag by Wilson for the tag on the caught stealing. 1 away, 4 runs in. The pitch is swung on and missed to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes here in the 7th. And has seen CCL get off the schneid. They've scored 4. Only 1 out. Jaden Herwick with a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Goebel kicks and comes to the plate and misses outside, ball 3, 3-2. Matt hasn't had a great deal of work this summer and just trying to get his timing right, mechanics and everything else, and it's been a bit of a struggle with command here in the inning for Matt. The 3-2 pitch is ball 4 again to Witt. And that'll be it for Matt. Brooke Knight on his way out to the mound. Sure, he's loath to go out with an inning that began with a 13-run lead. It's still a comfortable 9-run advantage in the 7th, but 3 walks, a hit batter, a wild pitch, a couple of base hits. Matt will have other days, and we look forward to seeing him when he's in a bit better fettle, but he struggles a bit tonight and is taken out of the ballgame. We'll see a new pitcher coming in for the Knights, and we'll take a 2-minute pitching change break, see whom Brooke and Cole Stringer have called upon. It's the Knights 13, CCL 4 in the 7th. Back in 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Okay. Lucas Casey is the new pitcher for the Corvallis Knights. Speaking of Cal State Northridge in February of 1999. First ball games I ever got to call for Oregon State Athletics. Reconnecting with Pat Casey. Those were good times. Tough times for the Beavers, but exhilarating times for yours truly to kind of get back in the saddle between jobs and in the broadcast industry, and was given a lifeline by Mike Corwin and Mitch Barnhart and an opportunity to go to work for a great university. I'm grateful to still be sitting here adjacent now, sitting outside, watching the Corvallis Knights. Been part of our summer landscape since 2007. Lucas Casey out of Cal State Northridge, the new pitcher, takes over for the Knights in the top of the 7th with the Knights 13-0 lead cut now to 13-4. Talon Ty with a runner going, takes high, the throw to second, not in time off the glove of Tai Yukamoto, but stays on the infield. And Jaden Herwick gets the stolen base. Talon Tai has struck out and popped to second. 13-4 Knights in the seventh. Lucas Casey, 6'2", 200-pounder, coming in. It's a non-league affair, and that's good news for Matthew Goebel in that none of the stats in this one count to his official total in the West Coast League. A small blessing that. Matt will figure things out, sort things out, and make contributions to the Knights in their bid to try to win their 8th straight West Coast League championship. Ty takes outside, ball 3, 3-0. Casey back to the plate in their first strike, and the count 3-1. Lucas in the league season has made 3 appearances, 9 in the third innings, 5 hits, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. 3-1 the count to Talon Tai. Herwick getting his lead from second. The 3-1 pitch hit slowly by the mound, charged by Blake Wilson. Picks it up and throws to first for out number 2. On the play, Herwick advances to third. And Luke Klooster will be the hitter. Thirteen to 4 Knights in the seventh. The same 2 clubs tomorrow night. Remember to get here early. Those that did not get here early tonight missed out on the Corvallis Custom T-shirt giveaway. Baseballs tomorrow night to the first 250 fans. Compliments of Horesco Chiropractic. Klooster fouls one straight back. No balls and a strike. Speaking of ops directors, boy, they do tremendous and important work for programs. Our own at Oregon State, Ryan Gorton, here tonight, walking through the Jack Riley concourse. The 0-1 pitch, breaking ball in there for a strike. We'll see Rich Dorman, the Beavers pitching coach, back here tomorrow to see Leif Palmer get the baseball for the Corvallis Knights. No balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. 13 to 4 Knights in the seventh. Herwick at third, 2 down. Casey delivers, slider, swung on and missed. Strike 3 to get Klooster and retire the side. Good work by Lucas Casey, coming on to kind of settle things down, get the final 2 outs of the inning. We go to the bottom of the seventh. The Knights 13 and CCL 4 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bottom of the seventh inning before 1,526 here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The Knights leading 13-4. And again, 1,526. Nice crowd on Corvallis Custom T-shirt night. We expect another good gathering tomorrow. Be amongst the early arrivers, the first 250 fans. If you are, you'll get a baseball. Compliments of the Corvallis Knights and Horesco Chiropractic. Brody Noonan takes over pitching chores for CCL. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 4 runs in the inning in the top half of the frame, with the Knights giving up 3 walks in the inning. So we've seen 12 walks in the ball game. Brody Noonan, the new pitcher, hopes to avoid that. Tenino High School, and I think he is, I'm trying to look at the roster here. Yep, another competitor from Yakima Valley Community College. Brody ready to go to C.J. Collier. A 3-run homer for C.J. in the second, a run-scoring single in the fourth. So a 4 RBI night for big C.J. out of Gilroy. Swings at the first pitch and rolls it slowly foul outside of third. No balls and 1 strike. Brody Noonan following Blake Geffert, Gavin Gard, and Troy Molna in the ball game. Nix C.J. Collier for another example of what has been a prevailing theme tonight, the freebies. 9 walks by my count. I may have missed one here and there, and that's the 3rd hit batsman. And that'll bring Coulter McAnally to the plate. McAnally has flied to center, struck out, been hit by a pitch, and walked. Brody Noonan comes set. The right-hander for CCL hits Coulter McAnally. Back-to-back hit batters in the inning. Runners at first and second and nobody out for Cole Snido. Cole is 0 for 4. There is some activity going in the CCL bullpen beyond the left field fence. A right-hander throwing back of the right-hander Brody Noonan, and Brody's first pitch is in there for a strike to Cole Snido. 0-1 the count. 13-4 Knights in the bottom of the 7th inning. 6:35 again tomorrow night. The strike 1 pitch hit foul. Off to the right, looking into Dixon Rec as the ball sailed by. A volleyball camp has now taken over in Dixon Rec after a week of furious basketball activity in the same facility to our right. The strike 2 pitch on the way, swung on and fouled back. It was a reminder, visiting with Mejia and Cahea before the game. Mejia, the starting pitcher's mom, Troy Molna. Cahea, who works at a local coffee establishment and does a nice job there. I've seen her there. Cahea also here to cheer on Troy, but they're all cousins of Talia von Oelhoffen. The strike 2 pitch missing down and in, and seeing the basketball camps going on around campus this week for Scott Ruick and the women's program, and just thinking about Talia, what a wonderful player and person, but part of a pretty major exodus from Oregon State women's basketball after their remarkable Elite 8 run. And to meet cousins of Talia, I just had to say we're going to miss her terribly. Hard to, I understand, wish her well, hope great things happen for her, but it's painful that things have fallen in the manner that they have. The lines falling in less than pleasant places. A ground ball to the hole at short. Trevin Long moving into shallow left, knocks it down, has no play. And Cole Snido is aboard with an infield single to the 6 hole. C.J. Collier into third, Coulter McAnally to second, Cole Snido aboard at first. Houston Wheeler, who has 2 base hits and 4 at-bats, the batter. Bases loaded, nobody out in the 7th. Talia, such a dynamic personality and player. And I do, all of them that have left for other spots, as painful as it is, I hope the best for them. It's just a huge challenge for one of the great coaches in America, and Scott Rueck, who I think will piece it all together and find a way to keep on winning. 1 ball and no strikes to Houston Wheeler. Fastball from the right-hander Brody Noonan misses high for ball 2. But just signs everywhere we turn, and talking to Luke and Kaysen before the game, regretting the end of the Pac-12, seeing Talia's cousins regretting the end of the Pac-12. The 2-0 pitch missing high, ball 3, but we can't live there forever. And that's why Scott Barnes and the crew and everybody involved in the Pac-2 and Teresa Gould, everybody doing everything they can to try to give the Beavers the best possible path forward. The 3-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 3-1 to Houston Wheeler. John Canzano, John Wilner, and others write regularly about what that path may look like. We don't know for sure, but love this place, love this university, and believe there are still great days ahead. The 3-1 pitch hits Houston Wheeler on the foot. Houston gets an RBI on the bases loaded hit batsman. 3 hit batters in the inning. C.J. Collier down the line steps on the plate to score the night's 14th run. McAnally to third, Snido to second, Houston Wheeler at first. And with some activity going on back of Brody Noonan, who has been a bit on the wild side, with apologies to Lou Reed. Ben Kruger is walking slowly out to the mound. We've seen a right-hander at work back of Brody here in the inning. The Knights leading 14-4. The bases are loaded with nobody out. Coach Kruger not of a mind to make a pitching change here. He still has another ball game to execute and doesn't want to spend his entire bullpen here this evening. But Ben makes a slow walk back to his dugout on the third base side with Tai Yukamoto, the batter. Ty's had himself a big night. 3 base hits. He scored 3 runs. He has stolen 3 bases as he steps in with the bases loaded and nobody out. Noonan to the plate and throws one to the backstop. Racing down the line to score is Coulter McAnally. And the Knights lead at 15-4 on the wild pitch. And as much as Ben Kruger would like to see the right-hander Brody Noonan figure some things out and eat perhaps this and the next inning to save some pitching for tomorrow night in Game 2, he knows he can't go on too much longer with this kind of pattern. The 1-0 pitch, Yukamoto, a fly ball to shallow left field. Jaden Herwick moving in, going out as the shortstop Trevin Long. And Long makes the catch, holding at third base, Cole Snido. 1 away in the bottom of the 7th, and Kellen Siegel will be the hitter. Kellen has lined out, Kellen in taking over for Brandon Cabrera bounced into a fielder's choice last inning. Has a chance for a couple of RBIs here. Kellen takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Kellen took over for Brandon Cabrera, who had walked and scored, doubled home a run, and struck out. Snido at third, Wheeler at second, 1 away, 15-4 Knights. Noonan delivers down and in. And the count 2 balls and no strikes, or 1-1, to Kellen Siegel, with the right-hander Brody Noonan coming set. And the 1-1 pitch to Kellen in the turf for ball 2, 2-1. Two and one the count. From the stretch, the right-hander Brody Noonan back to Kellen Siegel, who hammers it to deep left field. Herwick goes back. The ball carries over his head and bounces off the top of the fence. Snido scores. Houston Wheeler right behind him to score. Kellen Siegel, a booming 2-run double off the top of the 14-foot fence in left field. And the Knights lead it 17-4. Well crushed baseball off the bat of Kellen Siegel. Blake Wilson, the hitter. So Cascade Collegiate League scored 4 runs in the top of the 7th. The Knights have come right back to get 4 of their own and looking for more now with Blake Wilson at the plate. 17-4 Knights in the bottom of the 7th inning. The pitch to Blake, swung on and fouled at the plate. No balls and 1 strike. Blake has walked, singled home a run, fly to right, singled home another run in the 5th inning, fly to right field last inning. We're in the bottom of the 7th, 17-4. Kellen gets his lead from second. Wilson chops 1 foul back of third. No balls and 2 strikes the count. 6:35 again tomorrow night. 5:05 on Sunday. A night off on Tuesday. Ridgefield. Or night off Monday, I should say, then Ridgefield Tuesday and Wednesday here. Big fireworks show presented by Oregon State Credit Union on the 3rd of July. On Wednesday, the 4th of July, the Knights will be at Ridgefield. Breaking ball misses in the count 1-2. The Knights did not score in the 1st and the 6th. They've made up for it in the other frames tonight. 17-4 here in the bottom of the 7th. The 1-2 pitch to Blake Wilson, another wild one. That one way outside into the backstop. Kellen Siegel trots to third. And Blake with an opportunity here for a run batted in with only 1 out. The CCL showcase team looked into the dugout. Outs are the thing now, so the infield stays back at normal depth, down 17-4. Wilson swings and taps one slowly up along third. A fair ball. The throw to first, a wild one from Peyton Rickard. Coming down the line to score for the Knights is Kellen Siegel. The Knights lead it 18-4 on the throwing error by Peyton Rickard. And into second base on the overthrow goes Blake Wilson. Kevin Takeuchi, the hitter. Kevin has walked, tripled home a run, singled, and has walked in his last 2 at-bats. Kevin has drawn 3 free passes. 5 runs in the inning for the Knights, 18-4. 7 runs in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 5 here in the 7th. First pitch, a strike, and the count 0-1 to Kevin Takeuchi. Out of the stretch works Brody Noonan. The 0-1 pitch pulled foul into the Knights dugout. I'm not sure whom it was that jumped from the top of the stairs into the well of the dugout to avoid that shot into the dugout, but pretty quick footwork on the part of the unidentified Knights player. The 0-2 pitch missing to Takeuchi. Ball 1, 1-2. There's a photograph on the alumni lounge when you walk up the first baseline, the entrance as you make your way up the stairwell down the line. The pitch is taken, strike 3 called by Takeuchi, 2 down. Luke Lavin, the batter. Luke will not get a chance to face Brody Noonan. It looks as though we'll see a pitching change made by Ben Kruger here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and the Knights leading 18-4. If you get a chance, take a look at it and marvel with me. I walked in from there earlier today. There's a photograph of Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. It looks like it's circa 1920, maybe, thereabouts, of Coleman Field. Maybe later, 30s or 40s. I don't know when that photograph actually was taken, but it shows fans on benches a little bit further out towards the field of play than where the dugouts are now, with nothing in front of them, no protection whatsoever. And it's just, for me, to contemplate the number of times screaming line drives and fouls would go into those areas for fans sitting on the field closer than where the dugouts are now. It's hard to imagine, but that's what the field once looked like. But home plate has been sitting where it is since 1907. A pitching change, a 2-minute pitching change break, 18-4 Knights in the 7th. We'll be back in 2 to Goss on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Eighteen to 4 Knights in the bottom of the 7th. It appears as though, and I've got to get a read on the name, and it's a hard one for me, and I'm going to have to double check here in a moment. The new pitcher for CCL. I don't know if it's Conan Hassan. I think it's Conan Hassan. I don't have any information on him, and he wasn't on the roster that I was given earlier today, but on the game roster submitted late. Conan to the plate to Luke Lavin. And Luke takes ball 2, 2-0. I'll try to clarify see if anybody within the McGrath family press box has the proper name and pronunciation for a young man who wasn't on the roster submitted earlier today. The 2-0 pitch, a strike to Luke, and the count 2-1. 18 to 4 Knights, a 5-run bottom of the 7th. And on a night where the Knights have dominated action, we've also found out that Ridgefield has defeated the Portland Pickles 4-0. The Knights have clinched the first half of the West Coast League 2024 season and thus have clinched their 17th consecutive playoff berth and thus have clinched home field advantage in the divisional round of the playoffs, which would begin in August. And we'll have details on all of those things coming. So the Knights not playing CCL ball, West Coast League ball tonight and playing against CCL have had a good night and have clinched the first half West Coast League title. Lavin swings and misses, 2 balls and 2 strikes. With 2 down, Blake Wilson at second base. The Knights leading 18 to 4. So a good night all the way around, clinching a playoff berth and dominating this ball game in a non-league affair against CCL. Conan Hassan, that's what I'm going with at the moment, delivers a 2-2 slider on the inside corner. Good pitch. Strike 3 called. the inning is over. But the Knights get 5 more, and we go to the 8th. The first half, West Coast League title, Corvallis Knights Club leading CCL 18-4. We'll be back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
News that you can trust. Subscribe to the Gazette Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette Times community.
The pitcher who did a nice job to end the bottom of the 7th inning with a strikeout of Luke Lavin was Ronan Kaysen. I went and double-checked inside the booth, and thanks to Brooks Hatch and others in the booth who clarified, Ronan Kaysen out of Westview High School as the pitcher who came in and struck out Lavin. So my apologies for not having that earlier. We go to the top of the 8th, 18-4 Knights. Ground ball to short to lead matters off here in the top of the 8th inning. And Trevin Long grounds out to Blake Wilson to open the top of the 8th inning against right-hander Lucas Casey. Lucas works out of the stretch with nobody on and runs a fastball down and away. 1-0 the count to Peyton Rickard. Peyton drew a walk to lead off last inning. That opened the door for a 4-run frame for CCL to cut it to 13-4, but the Knights with 5 in the bottom of the 7th. Fastball slashed foul, Waldo away out of the stadium towards Waldo Hall. 1 ball and 1 strike to Peyton. 0 for 2 with the walk drawn and the first of the 4 runs last inning. Fastball from Lucas. Swung on and fouled back. Ronan Kaysen out of Kirkland. So I thought I had Westview. I thought I saw that. I'm trying to find some information as we go here. I have Ronan Kaysen out of Lake Washington High School out of Kirkland. So I think there's some story here. Ronan Kaysen's baseball profile. Lake Washington High School. The pitch on the way, misses for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Peyton Rickard. So, yeah, that would be right. Ronan Kaysen out of Lake Washington High. Lucas Casey delivers a ground ball to the right of Tai Yukamoto. Tai tries to slide into the play. The ball glances off his glove into shallow center. It's a solid single for Peyton Rickard, a base hit up the middle. And coming to the plate will be the designated hitter, Travis Finney, who was grounded to first, struck out looking, and been hit by a pitch. Ronan Kaysen coming in to get the final out of the Knights' big 5-run 7th inning to essentially put this one on the hip. And the batter will be Travis Finney, who takes Fastball for a strike, and the count 0-1. 0-1 the count. Lucas Casey following Jackson Flora and Matthew Goebel into this ball game tonight, a non-league affair. The strike one pitch missing down and away, and the count 1-1. But with Ridgefield, the next league opponent for the Knights, defeating the Pickles tonight 4-1 in Ridgefield, Washington at the Rourke, the Knights are in the playoffs again. They've never missed them. Fastball swung on and fouled at the plate, and the count 1-2 since coming to Corvallis back in 2007. 17 consecutive playoff appearances, and even the 1 year in which there was no West Coast League action due to the pandemic in the summer of 2020 in the Wild Wild West League. For good measure, Brooke Knight and company won that too. Not an official league season. A 1-2 pitch, a check swing by Travis Finney. He holds up, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the Knights will begin their quest, thus, for an 8th straight championship in postseason play. Likely, and here, we don't know the exact date, but it would be here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fastball, a ground ball back up the middle. Fielded by Wilson, goes to Yukamoto for 1, on to first for the double play. 6-4-3 to retire the side. Good work by Lucas Casey again. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Knights 18 and CCL 4 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bottom of the 8th inning, the Knights leading 18-4. Looks like another pitcher in for the Cascade Collegiate League. After good work by Ronan Kaysen, it appears as though right-hander Gabriel Smitherman has come in. And just looking as the evening cools here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, hoodies, blankets, sweatshirts. I mean, it has cooled off considerably after. It's still pleasant enough, but looking at where Smitherman comes from makes me think it's probably a little warmer at Shasta College, where Smitherman hails from. Shasta, I think he began at Shasta, now at Lassen Community College. Either way, it gets pretty hot in that neck of the woods. I'm not sure what it is right now, but they'll be heading, if they're not already, in their triple digits in Reading and surrounding environs, triple digits for the rest of the summer, I would think, very soon. The first pitch missing from Smitherman. The 1-0 pitch, a pop foul off first, racing in front of his own dugout and making the catch. Nice job by Nate Merritt to grab it. So one away with C.J. Collier popping out to open the bottom of the 8th. Coulter McAnally, the batter. against the right-hander Gabriel Smitherman. 1 out, nobody on. 18-4 Corvallis. Smitherman delivers a ground ball to the right of the second baseman Ty from behind the bag, throws to first, not in time. Nice effort by Talon. An infield single for Colter McAnally. And coming to the plate for the Knights will be Cole Snido. A dominant performance for the Knights here in Game 1 of this brief 2-game non-league series. Snido hits one foul on top of the McGrath family press box to the left. No balls and 1 strike the count. The 0-1 breaking ball from Smitherman misses. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. To the right-hand hitting Cole Snido. And like our own Jack Riley, whom we talked about a good deal last night out of Grant High School in Portland, going to Phoenix College now. Grant takes high. 18-4 Knights in the bottom of the 8th inning. Out of the stretch works Smitherman, crowd of 1,526. Off speed to Cole, swung out and missed. Colter McAnally at first. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away. Two and 2 the count. Gabriel Smitherman comes set. 18 runs and 16 hits for the Knights, and now 17. As Snido whacks it into right field. Good swing, base hit. Stopping at second base, Colter McAnally. Snido taking the fastball the other way, bringing Houston Wheeler to the plate. Houston has singled and scored, struck out, flied to right, singled again, hit by a pitch and scored. In the 7th, 18 runs, 17 hits for the Knights, 4 runs, 5 hits for CCL, which has used Troy Molna, Gavin Gard, Blake Geffert, Brody Noonan, Ronan Kaysen, and now Gabriel Smitherman, who throws a breaking ball for a strike in the count 0-1. Ty Yukamoto on deck. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Knights scoring 7 in the second and haven't looked back. They've been in full control of this one. The 0-1 pitch on the way to Houston. He backs away from a breaking ball down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Knights baseball is presented by Pape Material Handling, keeping you moving one step closer to home again in 24. Teaming up, as we've talked about, a huge night for Community Outreach, Inc. Thanks to Pape Material Handling, making a contribution for every Knight's stolen base. Pape donates $15. The Knights also to make it a $30 donation to Community Outreach, Inc. Teamwork, process, impact, and opportunity. Creating transformative pathways to life through Community Outreach, Inc. Houston fouls one to the left and out of play. 1-2 the count. The 1-2 pitch rolled slowly foul. A variation on the name of Houston, not the spelling of the great city down in Texas, H-O-U-S, nor the great director, John, H-U-S. This is H-U-S-T-Y. And H-U-S-T-Y hits a ground ball over the glove of Talon Ty into right field. Everybody's safe. Jack Barker fires the ball back in. The Knights have the bases loaded, and that'll be a base hit for Houston Wheeler and a 3-hit night for Houston. A sharply hit ball that bounded over the glove of Ty to load him up. Ty Yukamoto, the batter. 18 runs, 18 hits for the Knights, and the bases loaded with Colter McAnally at third, Cole Snido at second, Houston Wheeler at first. A 3-hit night for Houston. Tai Yukamoto has 3 hits as well. He looks at a breaking ball down and in, ball 1, 1-0. The Knights have 1 home run in the midst of the barrage tonight, a 3-run jack for C.J. Collier. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Yukamoto takes a fastball just inside, ball 2, 2-0. I'm going to try to get to C.J. after the ball game as our pregame show guest for tomorrow night's broadcast. We'll get underway at 6:25 tomorrow. Horesco Chiropractic night, baseball giveaway night. Yukamoto swings at the 2-0 pitch. Tai rolls it foul outside of first and down the line. 2 balls and 1 strike. Former Knights in action today in the major leagues. Stephen Kwan went 0 for 2. Kansas City defeated the Guardians 10-3. Adley Rutschman did not play. Baltimore with a 2-1 win over Texas. Yukamoto fouls another one to the right. No balls and 2 strikes. Michael Conforto did not play for the Knights, but the former Beaver in the bottom of the 5th at last report 1 for 2. The Dodgers leading the Giants 2-1. And Trevor Larnach 0 for 4 with the Minnesota Twins playing in, I believe, in Seattle in the top of the 8th. And it is Trevor was 0 for 4. I don't know if TJ, if you're listening, or I can't read Brooks Hatch's handwriting here very well. I'm going to have to check the Major League scoreboard, but he has M and then a team with some letters involving an S and an L, and that's it. And I guess are the Twins playing Seattle? Yukamoto takes ball 4 to load them up, or to force in a run, pardon me. Puts the Knights up 19-4 with Coulter McAnally coming down the line to score. Bases remain loaded. Kellen Siegel, the batter. Let's get to the MLB app. Haven't opened it up a whole lot of late. We'll see what the scores have to say. With Kellen Siegel at the plate and takes the first pitch high and inside from Smitherman. Ball 1, 1-0. Mariners beat the Twins today, 3-2 in 10. The 1-0 pitch on the way, and that was at T-Mobile Park. Missing high, ball 2, 2-0. So the Mariners now 47-37. The Twins at 45-37. Good to see Matthew Boyd getting signed recently by Cleveland. The 2-0 pitch. And it's just off the plate for ball 3, 3-0 to Kellen Siegel. 19-4 Knights, bases loaded and 1 out. Tough night for both teams in a sense. I mean, you're happy to be the one up 19-4, but there comes a certain point. The 3-0 pitch, Kellen Green lighted, takes a big rip and doesn't get it. The count 3-1, where both teams will be glad to kind of put this one to bed here soon. 15-run lead for the Knights in the bottom of the 8th inning. 3 balls and 1 strike to Kellen Siegel with the bases loaded and 1 out. The 3-1 pitch hit foul to the right and out of play. Gabriel Smitherman trying to come all the way back now on Kellen Siegel here in the bottom of the 8th. The Knights have clinched the first half of the West Coast League tonight, even being idle from league play, getting help from the Ridgefield Raptors, a team they'll see when the league schedule resumes here Tuesday. The 3-2 pitch to Kellen is down and away for ball 4. Kellen Siegel gets his second consecutive RBI in this one. He had an RBI double, just missing a home run in his last at-bat. Cole Snido down the line to score. The Knights lead at 20-4. The bases remain loaded with Houston Wheeler at third base, Tai Yukamoto at first, and at second, I should say, and Kellen Siegel at first, with 1 away, and Blake Wilson coming to the plate. Blake has walked, singled home a couple of runs, flied to right, and been aboard on an error. Gabriel Smitherman to the plate. First pitch is high and inside, ball one, 1-0. There is no one throwing any longer in the CCL bullpen. It's up to Smitherman, unless he just continues to falter. A position player could be, I suppose, brought in to try to get enough strikes to get through the inning. The 1-0 pitch, a ground ball to short. Trevin Long goes to second for one, on to first, not in time. Houston Wheeler comes in to score. The Knights lead it 21-4. On the fielder's choice, 6-4. Blake Wilson picking up his third run batted in. Not exactly sure. Every time Kevin has come to the plate tonight, one loud fan to the left. I'm not sure what it is that he's uttering loudly, but he's yelled something out. I don't know if it's Kevin's last name. It's been hard for me to pick up and fully understand with the headphones on, but each time Kevin has come to the plate and Kevin takes a breaking ball for a strike and the count 0-1, that fan has yelled out something boldly, loudly, but not something that's completely coherent to me. The strike one pitch, down and away, and the count 1-1. I may need to ask Kevin himself before the ball game tomorrow just whom that fan might be and what exactly is going on. But it's been each time. So we've heard Kevin Takeuchi, whatever it is that's being called out. This is the seventh time that Kevin's been to the plate. I've already let Delaney know that it is C.J. Collier tonight. Thank you. Thank you, Taylor. Taylor and Delaney have both come by to ask who the Washington Park Advisors player of the game is. It'll be C.J. for the 4 RBI night. A pop fly into shallow right. Going out is the second baseman, Talon Tai, who makes the catch. The inning is over. The Knights get 3 more. We go to the ninth. The Knights 21 and CCL 4 back for the final 3 outs. We've got a pitcher coming in out of the bullpen, so we'll take a 2-minute pitching change break as we go to the ninth. Back in 2, 21-4 Corvallis on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Hey Corvallis Knights fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, your one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors on
Caleb Debin will be the new pitcher for the Corvallis Knights as we look for the final 3 outs. The left-hander ready, delivers, fastball away, ball 1, 1-0. The Knights have dominated this one, and again, that's not surprising. And now Caleb Debban hoping to get the final 3 outs. The 1-0 pitch is outside. Ball 2, 2-0. Working on Jack Barker leading things off for CCL. 21-4 Knights. Debban back to the plate with a 2-0 pitch. Swung on and lifted to left field and pretty deep. Houston Wheeler backpedaling and gets there to make the catch. A little surprised that Barker, down 17 runs, was swinging 2-0, but I suppose that it's built into what I just said. I mean, down 17 runs. I mean, taking a pitch to try to get on base and all of that, not necessarily at this point a strategy that anyone would particularly like to follow. And so he was swinging away 2-0, not making Debban throw a strike. And Caleb pitches to contact and gets an out. The left-hander's first pitch now to Nate Merritt, misses for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch, a big swing and a miss. And Merritt with a count of 1-1. A 2-run single for Nate in the 7th inning. The former Tiger hits Nate Merritt. A breaking ball that just didn't come down for him. And that'll bring to the plate Davis Downer, the center fielder. Caleb competing at George Fox and out of Tigard High School. The alma mater of one of our interns working the live stream tonight, Evan Bach, and Caleb went to the same high school. The pitch on the way hit foul. Evan, Andrew, and Brian doing a great job on our live streams throughout the summer. We'll all be back together again tomorrow, 6:25 pregame. The Knights and CCL in the second of the 2 non-league games in this non-league series. It was just announced during the between-inning break about the Knights making the playoffs for a 17th consecutive season. The pitch missing high from Caleb comes back to the plate. A 2-hopper back up the middle. Nice play by Yukamoto. Throws to second for 1 on the force play. On an excellent play by Yukamoto to go up the middle, take a base hit away from Downer, and get the baseball to Blake Wilson for the fielder's choice for 6. 2 down in the top of the 9th inning, and we'll see a pinch hitter for Cascade getting his first opportunity. And this is not the person listed. The pitch seemed to cross up Cole Snido, listed on the roster anyway. This is a young man whose name has got to be on one of these rosters here. And I'm going to try to get a little better look. The pitch going off Snido's mitt. It looked like Cole may have been crossed up a little bit. Nate Merritt goes into second, all scored as a pass ball at the moment. And I'm not sure what's going on here. As I was trying to scramble to figure out just who this player is who's not, again, on the roster that was originally given to us, wearing number 5. We had a different number 5 in the roster given, Alec Ammerman. I know that's not Alec Ammerman, so I'm trying to, it's getting dark out here, and trying to see. Now we do have a different Ammerman coming up, Ethan Ammerman. The number 5 was Alec Ammerman, but it's number 5 on the bases now. And that's, again, the writing isn't particularly clear. Vincent Anamora, I believe, is what it is. I'm sorry, folks. There's not enough information on the CCL roster, and some of these guys were announced late. But this is somebody that was on my notes from earlier, Ethan Ammerman. And Ethan is a pinch hitter here out of Richland High School. And a count of 1 ball and 1 strike with Anamora apparently hit by a pitch and awarded first base. That was a bit of a strange call that Brooke Knight came out and asked about, but we have 2 on now and 2 out, and 1 and 2. Fastball is up to Ethan Ammerman. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 21-4 Knights in the top of the 9th inning. Caleb Debin trying to end it here, delivers, fastball foul back. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ethan Ammerman appears to be an older brother of Alec, who was listed as wearing number 5, but somebody else is wearing 5 and is at first base. Ethan swings at the 2-2 pitch and doesn't get it, and Caleb Debin does indeed take care of business, putting up the 0 to end the game with Ethan striking out. And down goes CCL in the top of the 9th inning. No runs, no hits. They leave 2. The Knights clinch a playoff berth tonight. And while this game did not count in the standings, it had to be a pretty good overall night, a feel-good night for the team and the organization as they clinch a 17th consecutive season in the playoffs with help from Ridgefield tonight in Ridgefield beating the Pickles. The Knights are the first half South Division West Coast League champs, will be in the playoffs again and be the number 1 seed when the playoffs begin in August. The Knights win it with performances, strong ones all the way around. Jackson Flora was perfect in terms of facing the minimum through his 5 innings of work, allowing just 1 base hit. But C.J. Collier with 4 runs batted in, including a booming 3-run home run, among the highlights tonight. I'm going to try to get to C.J. and visit with him for the first time for our pregame show, which will air tomorrow. The Knights 21 and CCL 4. We'll be back with you tomorrow night at 6:25. For Evan Bach, Andrew Roderick, Brian Thomas, Garrett Dworshak, Brooks Hatch, and more. Sawyer Gowan and the rest of the crew in the press box, we want to thank you for joining us. The Knights win big, 21-4 over CCL, and clinch the first half title with help from the North. We'll be back tomorrow night at 6:25 for the second game of this non-league series, the Knights and CCL. Again, our final score, Corvallis 21, CCL 4. Talk to you tomorrow night right back here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. So long, everybody.